6:01 on my watch. That clock's running fast, James. You might want to fix that. That's why you keep starting class early. What do you want us to do with those? You want us to do it now?
You can just pass it around.
Oh, perfect. So it is someone's very special 29th birthday. It's Anna's birthday. And she was kind enough to bring us these amazing treats, which I'm going to just keep up here and eat during class. Oh, sorry. No, I'm going to pass them around. And as I almost drop it, that would have been awesome. So happy birthday. Thanks for coming to class on your birthday. That's like only things James and I do when we have to teach on our birthdays or anniversaries or whatever. Tonight is Side Hustles, how to earn down payments faster. That's what we told James the class was going to be about. Really, it's not about that at all. It's about building an Amazon business. Pretty sure he knows that. This is at the request of many people. So upcoming classes, James is doing wholesaling part 1 and part 2. They're both going to be amazing. They're both going to be all about wholesaling. And James took basically an 8-hour or 16-hour set of topics and condensed it to 4 hours. So he's probably going to run long. Anything else you want to add?
So I've actually been rethinking that. I might do more of a free stream of thinking, teaching sort of model for both those classes. We'll see how it goes.
So James basically said, I'm not going to have time to write classes because I'm writing code. I'd rather write code. So I'm not going to write class. I'm just going to come and talk about wholesaling because I can fill 2 hours. So you'll definitely want to be here.
I can easily fill 4 hours. It's not going to be a hard time filling stuff.
Right. And then I guess he's going to do that 2 weeks in a row, which will be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I guess I am.
And then the following week is arguably the best class of the year, part 3. How many of you have been to arguably the best class of the year, part 1 or part 2, which were last year? They weren't this year. So this should actually be just arguably the best class of the year. Thank you, Sammy. That is awesome.
It tastes better than the last one.
It's like chemical. I don't know what happens. It's like weird. If I like die, someone sue Starbucks because they killed me. Yeah, seriously, like this is bad news. So the best class of the year, part 3, is basically short topics. James, do we have any idea what topics we're actually teaching on?
I did send over like a brainstorm list, but we haven't actually formalized it yet.
Okay, so we don't know what we're teaching, so we will get to that. And then, is this happening or no? Or do you not know?
It is not happening.
So there's no class on the 24th?
That's correct.
So as of now, there's no class on the 24th. That may change next week because I have an idea that I may present to James tonight after class, where it would not necessarily be here, but it may be related to tonight's class and answering any follow-up questions somewhere where we can all have a beer. And then the following week is Halloween. There's no class, or as James likes to call it,
it is All Saints Day.
Thank you. So there's still no class on Halloween. Enjoy trick-or-treating. So tonight, introduce yourself. Question of the night is, what is your current side hustle? So James, you have a mic. We're going to start with you. What is your current side hustle other than watching late night TV about real estate?
I'm James Orr. My current side hustle is writing code.
You want to pass the mic?
Thank you. Writing code, developing software, all that fun stuff. That's what he's doing. I'm Royce Quintana. I'm a long-term buy and hold real estate investor here in Northern Colorado. My current side hustle, I also do run an Amazon business.
You do?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Not certain. Yeah.
Wow. Good job.
But-
why are you here?
Yeah, I don't know. Someone to catch all your mistakes, I think. But why does anybody need to know anything about a side hustle when you can make $1 billion in 30 days?
I know. Classes that are coming up are amazing.
My name is Dan Smith, and I'm an electrical engineer, and that is both my main hustle and my auxiliary hustle. Anybody in that business understands that it's all-consuming.
I'm Anna. I'm an IT manager at CSU. My side hustles are real estate, and I also have an Amazon business.
Why are you here?
I'm Dan. I I own an IT consulting company, and my side hustle is real estate investing in foreign exchange trading.
Really? I didn't know this. I thought you were going to say supporting an Amazon side hustle business. Nice.
My name's Gretchen. I am an artist, and that's kind of my main job and my side hustle. I do all kinds of other various things. So,
I'm Joe. I'm a long-term buy and hold investor here in Colorado. My side hustle is real estate, and I am here to get my next hustle on.
Really? Nice. And that's eating popcorn.
I'm Deb. I guess my main hustle is private lending and long-term buy and hold. My side hustle is trading options, which has been so fun.
Hi, I'm Marina. I don't have a side hustle right now. Real estate is my main thing, and hopefully this will work out.
Cool.
I'm Isaac Coma, and I'm still working on getting my side hustles to actually make money.
Perfect. What are they?
Just internet business, Amazon. I've tried that. And working on getting started with the Nomad real estate stuff as well.
Tried
so.
Amazon, didn't like it.
No, I just haven't gotten it to work yet.
Perfect.
My name's Liam, and I'm just a high school student, just trying to, I don't really have a side hustle, I'm just trying to make it. Well, it's more of a hobby. Side hustle.
What's your side hustle?
I buy and resell Supreme.
Buy and resell what?
Supreme, it's just a clothing brand.
Oh. I don't know what Supreme is, but I mean, if you're buying something and reselling it for a higher price, that's a side hustle for sure.
My name is Lee Cooper Smith. I'm a violin restorer, and my side hustle is to make violins.
I'm Michelle. Our side hustle is real estate and just started Amazon a little bit.
I'm Austin, what she said.
I'm Tammy. I'm a real estate broker, and I don't really have a formal side hustle other than to probably support this guy with his coding side hustle and some kids
Man,
who
you
moved
had
out recently.
all the opportunity to not only just say, James is my husband, you could say,
That's true.
I'm pimping out James as my side hustle. Man, it was
Remember that
teed
for
up
next
really
time.
well.
Hey,
all those
to-
weeks of practice.
To the gentleman who does violins, any interested in an old violin?
Sure.
It's not fancy. It's just a violin I played in like elementary, middle school. It's in my basement.
It's only worth $47,000.
It's not. Trust me, it's not.
It's the violin from the Red Violin movie.
I'm Caroline. I am a marketing contractor, and I dabble in flips. And my side hustle is I take care of people's horses.
Anybody have a horse? No. Yeah, Mary does.
Name is Rob, and I'm a real estate broker, property manager, and my side hustle is I bought like 100 computers at an auction like 6 months ago, and so every once in a while I put them on Craigslist and offer up and all that and sell them off.
My name is Kyle Uhlenhop. I'm a financial advisor, and I don't actually have a side hustle. Just kind of interested in seeing what other stuff's out there.
My name's Todd, and I dabble in real estate, Nomad, and my side hustle is begging Brian's forgiveness.
My name's Nick. My side hustle currently is reading about side hustles.
No, it's not.
Until
Come
I
on.
eventually pick one and kind of go after it a little harder. So I guess I don't really have one yet.
My name is Ben. This is my first time here.
Oh.
He's my brother.
You're on. You're already a member of class. You've got it down.
My main area of work is residential construction consulting, and my side hustle is eBay sales.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Denise Malal, and my
day job is an office manager in an accounting office, and my side hustle is real estate.
I'm Jeff, and my side hustle is real estate.
Hi, I'm Donna. During the day, I do accounting, but I've been a dog trainer for years, so that's kind of my side hustle, pet sitting and dog training. So.
Man, I'm learning all sorts of things tonight. This is the best question of the night ever.
Do you pet sit dogs at your house or either?
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm Nick, long-term buy and hold investor, so I guess real estate's my main hustle, and I don't really have a side hustle. But I'm going to learn some stuff tonight, so.
Sweet, maybe. I mean, you never know. It might be a terrible class. Or I'm going to sleep. I love it. Oh.
I'm Lynn. I'm a realtor and long-term buy and hold real estate investor. My side hustle would be I organize carpools for a variety of sports teams.
That's awesome.
My name is Barbie, and I'm a CPA, and side hustle is probably real estate.
I'm Bob, and my side hustle is pickleball.
I'm Al, just full-time engineering work. I guess my side hustle is supporting my wife. That's in the real estate area and doing this class and that stuff.
Go teams.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
That's how I meant it.
I'm Laura. I'm a realtor, and my side hustle is long-term hold, I guess. And we want to do some fix and flips.
I'm James. My side hustle currently is kind of getting off the ground in real estate and using the 2 rentals we have to try and grow that and learn that. But also I'm interested in the Amazon thing because I see it can be lucrative. And I'm working on possibly making cutting boards and using my woodworking space to generate some side income out of something I enjoy doing already.
I don't think this thing is on.
It's not meant to project your voice. It's just we record for the podcast. So it's on and it's working. It's just not going to amplify anything.
I'm Amy, and I'm a mom, and I do my husband's billing from home, and I don't have a side hustle, but I want to get one.
Yeah, side hustle is having kids. That's enough. Yeah.
I'm Mike, and my hustles have flip-flopped recently. I was a full-time arborist with a side hustle of real estate. Now my main thing is real estate, and I have a side hustle as a consulting arborist till December. Then I wrap that up, and I'll be looking for a new side hustle.
Nice.
Hi, my name's Emily, and my side hustle also has to do with talking to people about their trees.
I'm Kelly, and I want real estate to be my side hustle. They say you're supposed to have 5 income streams, and I have none other. So that's what I'm working on.
Perfect. Did we miss anybody? Did anybody sneak in? Oh, we missed Allison. It's the mic passing game. It's like telephone, only different.
Hi, I'm Allison, and I currently do not have any side hustles.
Sweet. So for those of you, how many of you guys are here for the first time? So 4, Denise. Have you ever seen Denise in a class before? Well, it's about time you came, Denise. So if you guys are here for a real estate class and you're like, oh my gosh, Amazon, I totally don't want to hear this. I won't totally be offended. I'll just be partially offended if you get up and leave. So this really is the side hustle class. I'm going to talk a little bit about side hustles, but then the majority of what I've heard was, how do you do the Amazon business? So that's what I'm going to explain tonight in as much detail as possible in an hour and 45 minutes. And then I'll hang out after class to answer any questions you have. So there are literally, as you guys just heard, more side hustles than you can shake a stick at, and they're all over. So if you don't have a side hustle and you're like, man, this Amazon shit Brian is talking about tonight is totally not for me. I can't believe he does that. No worries, because there's plenty of stuff for you to do. You could go drive for Uber or Lyft. How many of you have ever done this? So there's a member that's not in class tonight that's totally done this and made money doing it, right? Every Uber driver I get in with, I always ask him, I'm like, so How well do you actually do? And some of them do really, really well, especially if you're willing to drive to the airport, and especially if you're willing to pick up drunk people at night in Denver. You know, I don't know, plastic size your backseat of your car to avoid the puke maybe, but you can rent your car on an app called Turo. You can rent your house, Airbnb or VRBO. How many of you have ever rented your house with Airbnb? How many of you ever stayed in an Airbnb? Yeah, look at that. You just made someone's side hustle a reality, right? How many of you have used VRBO? Right? I've long-term used VRBO, like 6 months to stay in a house. So you can walk dogs, wag a rover. You can be a handyman. Not for me, but lawn mowing, shoveling service, right? Isn't this where we all start when we're like growing up? Hey, go mow the neighbor's yard for 20 bucks. Like, sweet, and I get the mower from, you know, mom or dad for free and gas for free. It's $20 a pure profit. You can take surveys online. How many of you have ever tried this? How many of you didn't raise your hands that have actually tried this and don't want to admit it? That's what I thought. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One hand went up, I'm like, that's crap. There's at least 7 people in the room that have taken surveys online. Right? I don't have like be the medical transcriber on here, but I'm sure some of you have tried that as well. You could start a blog, you could tutor, you could babysit, you could clean houses, right? These are all things that are side hustles. You want to make a little extra money. You go give lessons on something. You know how to play the violin really well, you go give violin lessons. Lessons, boy, that's tough to say. Violin lessons. You be a photographer, a personal chef, right? There's a lot of people looking for somebody to cook their meals. And if you're really good, see me after class. And Royce too. If you know how to cook paleo and Whole30 meals, you might have 2 clients. Or as a lot of you are here to do, right, is sell stuff online, right? So there's all sorts of websites and places to sell your stuff online. Etsy, right? How many of you have heard of Etsy? How many of you have bought something from Etsy? See, look at this. You guys are supporting side hustles around the country. This is like handmade, vintage stuff. There's jewelry. I have some friends that sell on Etsy. There's Bonanza. There's Poshmark, which is like fashion clothing. Are you using Poshmark? Oh, now you are. There's OfferUp and Let Go and Mercari and Walmart. How many of you guys knew that when you go to Walmart, you're not always buying from Walmart? Yeah. You look down there and you're like, why does this cost so much? It's because Walmart's not selling it to you anymore. It's Royce. He doesn't sell on Walmart, at least not to my knowledge. But there are a lot of people that sell on Amazon and Walmart. As a funny story, hopefully Walmart won't ever listen to this. But like, I couldn't get approved to sell on Walmart. Even though I was a big enough seller on Amazon, they just would not accept my application for whatever reason. And looking back, I'm like, I don't care. It didn't matter at all. Craigslist, the old standard, right? Got something, put it on Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace, the new standard. You want to sell stuff, what you used to put on Craigslist, lots of people are putting on Facebook Marketplace. It's still local, right, for the most part. So, and then there's, of course, eBay and, of course, Amazon. So there's a ton of ways to make extra money. How many of you know what Amazon FBA is? So, some of you. So that's the main thing that we're here to talk about tonight. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. And this is a really cool thing because if you're selling on eBay, what's the process? Find something to sell, list it on eBay, store it in your garage, wait for somebody to buy it. Somebody buys it. Oh, hey, somebody bought it. Now I got to go ship it. Go pack it, go take it to the mailbox and ship it, right? Amazon FBA solves a lot of this. What do you still do? Find products that you're going to sell, but you pack them and you prep them and you ship them all to Amazon. So you don't have to ship them to individual people. You get extremely discounted shipping because people are like, wait, you just packed 18 boxes that are all this big that weigh about 40 pounds each and you're paying for shipping? Like each one of those boxes is like $5 to ship. You took like a box like this to the UPS store and tried to ship it to California, it's like 30 bucks, right? Amazon gives you extremely discounted shipping, partially because they're shipping so much stuff through UPS and FedEx, right? They've negotiated much, much, much lower rates. What does Amazon do for you? How many of you don't know about Amazon? Exactly. They're advertising, they're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to bring buyers to their site. So you ship all your stuff there, and they store it, and then they wait for the orders, and the order comes in, and they have somebody go pick it and pack it and ship it straight to your customer for you. So you don't have to do any of that kind of what I will call crap work, because it's not very fun. If you're getting 100 or 200 orders a day, trying to ship all that every day is basically taking your entire day. They also handle returns and customer service. And obviously you're paying for these services. And a lot of people, if you look online, they're complaining, oh, the fees are getting higher. Yeah, how many companies do you know that are advertising to bring like all the buyers to one site where they can buy your stuff? No one else is doing this. You can also kind of do the eBay model using Amazon. This is Merchant Fulfilled Network. So same thing, only you find products to sell, you list them on Amazon, you store them at your house, you get the order, and then you ship them out, right? And you get to handle all of your own stuff that way. But you're still selling through Amazon, and you're still getting the benefit of all the people coming to Amazon. I don't remember what the stat was, but it's like more than 50% of the online e-commerce is already at Amazon. And by like 2020, it was like more than 50% of just commerce. Some crazy stat, right? I mean, like if you think about just 50% of all e-commerce being on one site, that's nuts, right? So.
They only occupy 5% of total, And I was just going to mention that they, although they're a Goliath in the e-com space, they only represent about 5% of all retail. And so when you look at it as their overall growth, like you're still very much in the first inning of e-commerce.
Yep. So Amazon's going to get bigger. There's no question. Some of you have heard some of this story. I'm just going to share it as motivation so that you know where I'm coming from when you hear me talk about Amazon. So you're like, hey, how much are you actually selling on Amazon? So Royce happily was the person that introduced me to Amazon. He's also like the first nomad. So he starts stuff and then, you know, just stuff rolls downhill and we all pick it up and go. So I heard about it from Royce and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. Started listening to some podcasts, was thinking, oh, I'll do, you know, one type of Amazon business. And then it was like, you know, let's just figure out how to do something easy and send it in and see if it actually sells to learn the process of Amazon. So lots of late nights, lots of just everything I could find on the internet, every podcast, every video, every Facebook group. And there's a lot of ways you could do Amazon. So you could do private label, which is you going and developing your own product and maybe having it manufactured in China, having it sent over, and then selling it on Amazon. You could do wholesale, which is exactly like what you expect it to be. You go find a distributor or a manufacturer, you buy at a very low cost from them, and then you sell it on Amazon. And then there's the two that are kind of more common, which is like what you see on eBay, which is retail and online arbitrage. So arbitrage is basically, I'm going to buy low and I'm going to sell high. It's that simple, right? So you go find products that you can buy for $5 and you can sell on Amazon for $15 and you make some profit. Retail means you're actually going out and walking through stores like Target, Walmart, whatever, and online is you're sitting at your computer, finding products online, having them shipped to you, and then shipping them to Amazon. So we decided to do retail arbitrage first, mostly to learn the systems. James is crazy. His side hustle is now photography. If you need a wedding photographer, please call James Orr, 970-225-6989. Pull that out of the recording. It's the benefit of having your phone number memorized. Your address is coming if you keep it up. So we literally downloaded the Amazon Seller app, which is an app on your phone, and you can walk around and you can scan barcodes in stores. So that's what we did. We were like, there's no way this shit is going to work. Let's go find some products, scan them, see what they sell for. And we bought 12 items and shipped them in May. And I look back and I still laugh at this. And then it was literally, we knew they got there and we just, come on, right? And it's dumb because you're like, just something sell, right? And there's 12 items out of billions of items for sale on Amazon. We're like, come on, you can do it. And then finally, our first sale happened. We sold something for $32.95. It was a Targus iPad Air 2 case. We bought it for $15.28. We made $8.62 profit on it. And we were like, no, okay, no way, right? And then, you know, later that day, we basically had bought this frozen plush fleece combination, and it sold for less than we expected it to, and we made like $4. And then the funniest product that we bought in our first shipment was this thing. It's like a perfume tray that your grandma would use to set all of her perfumes on, like 80 years ago. I'm not sure. And we looked at this thing. We found it in, I want to say, thank God it's Friday, Tuesday morning. I knew it had a day in the week in the store name. We found this in Tuesday morning, and there were 2 of them, and they were like $12.88, and it said they were selling for $50. And we're like, okay, who's going to buy this for $50, right? It's like not real silver. It's just like a tray, right? Like, I'm like, there's no way. And so sure enough, that sold, and then we sold the second one 3 days later. And it was like, what is going on? And so in a matter of days, we had made $57, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we'd sold 4 of our 12 items, right? And we were like, all right, this clearly works. So we understood the process a little bit better. This was the trays. This was our first shipment. That's us being really proud of the first box that we finally got together to ship, because it was seriously difficult. You're like trying to input like country of origin from where the product is purchased, and you don't really need to do any of that. Like, we just didn't understand how to do it. Here's our second shipment. Just to give you an idea, we quickly scaled up. This is like almost 70 items. These were gold. They were on clearance at the now defunct Toys R Us. We probably made several $1,000s selling baby bottles. They were on clearance. But we scaled up and continued to scale up and up and up and up, right? And this is on May 19th. So we saw stuff sell on the 15th, and we were like, out the door, let's go make this work. So continuing on, we basically just went out, Target, Walmart, everywhere we could scan. I mean, there's, even in Fort Collins and Loveland, there are tons and tons and tons of stores to scan at. We bought a lot of products, and we learned really quickly what not to buy, or not really quickly. We learned across 2 months like what's good and what's not, and how much the rank of a product on Amazon actually matters. So every product on Amazon is ranked based on how well it's selling. You have the #1 rank, that thing is flying out the door, right? I mean, you wouldn't, like in toys, if you're the #1 product, it's selling an unbelievable amount per day. I don't even know what the number is, but it's a lot. So we figured that out. We made a lot of mistakes. We ended up recalling about 100+ products from Amazon, basically bringing them back and then returning them to stores, which, let me tell you, is not a lot of fun. But we were like, well, let's not lose the money. We know what we did wrong and return them. Most of the time now, we don't really return stuff. We'll either donate it or try and just resell it somewhere else. We paid for a bunch of leads from online sites. So there's a bunch of groups that every day they'll publish a list, and you can go through that list, and it's online leads. So you can go decide, do I want to buy this, right? This morning I went through like 40 of these and bought some of them, didn't buy other ones. You determine what is good based on your own criteria. And in 2016, in that first year, from basically May 1st or May 10th or May 15th when our first sale was, we sold almost $250,000 worth of stuff, which was extremely mind-boggling. It's like we just started, we ramped up very quickly, and we almost sold $250,000 worth of stuff. And so at the end of the year, we had profited, pure profit, obviously pre-tax, because I'm not going to get into that, just over $25,000. And so you go, oh, well, you know, what is that? 8 months of work, $25,000. You're probably working pretty hard at it. Is it worth it? Well, we were ramping up, right? Any startup business isn't going to just be like, hey, you're making $1 million a year. Fantastic. So you got the ramp up phase. In December alone, we sold $85,000 plus worth of product. Q4 matters a lot. A lot of the time in the fourth quarter, you will sell more, if not equal to kind of what you made in the other 3 quarters. Fourth quarter is huge. And it's not just Christmas gifts and toys. It's there are so many more people shopping for everything, right? Everything sells more. In 2017, we grossed almost $820,000 of sales. and made $143,730.43 of profit. So that's the ramp up continuing. So how many of you think that seems worth it? Yeah, right? That's like a full-time job for 2 people in a lot of cases. So it's real and it works and it's pretty amazing. In December, almost $150,000 of sales. Probably could have been more, but you run out of product at some point. So the return on the investment here is almost 36%, but it's really a lot more than that, right? This is just taking, hey, this is what we made, and this is what we sold, and what's the return on that from what we invested, but the money actually turned over. We didn't actually need to buy whatever it was, $400,000 worth of inventory. We cycled that money throughout the year. So it might have been $100,000 cycled 4 times, or $50,000 cycled 8 times. Does that make sense?
So you put that much into it?
Mic up.
You put that much into it to make the 144,000?
No, so what I'm saying is there was $400,000 of inventory purchased in that year, but it wasn't like I had to shell out $400,000 to make it, right? It was like $50,000 reused and reused and reused and reused, which is why this 36% is probably more like 150% return on investment, because I didn't put $400,000 into it. So Royce, if he wants to chime in, can chime in on kind of his strategy that might make it a little clearer. And if not, then that's fine too.
Yes, I mean, very similar. With us, we started with $2,000, right, in September of 2016. And we used one credit card basically, which I don't remember what it had, like $10,000 or something, which we just were literally would buy that. It would turn over in a month. We'd pay that completely off and just turn the money over and over and over again.
Yep.
Now I think we have, you know, $100,000 in inventory sitting,
Yep.
right? So it definitely.
And so my original investment was $9K, and basically that built up and built up. But unlike Royce, he didn't want to put more money in for certain reasons. I was willing to be like, hey, that's a good deal, just go spend. But I doubt that we ever, we were above profit obviously in 2016. So then it was just profit coming back from the company that was used to invest. So at the end of the day, it was $9,000 plus some credit cards, plus some additional infusion that's all been paid back. So.
Do you continue to like just buy things that look like a good deal, or are you kind of mainstreaming in one particular product?
You'll get that in the rest of the class. So net margin, which is, I think, important, one of the more important numbers, which is profit divided by your gross sales, was 17.4%. So this tells you, hey, this is what you sold, multiply by this, you should get that as profit. So if you think about Costco, they're running on numbers like 2% to 6% of margin, right? Their margins are super, super thin. So I think this is about where I wanted it to be. I would have been really happy if it was 20, but I'd have been totally satisfied if it was 14 or 15 too. So.
Are you counting like your own labor and kind of your numbers?
Hold on a second, please.
Tammy's question is, am I counting my own labor in this? So part of this profit actually went to pay me a salary in 2017. So in a sense, yes. Am I counting hour by hour and then going back and calculating pay? No, right? It's just looked at as Beth and I did work. This is what we ended up making. You know, did we work 40 hours a week? No.
I think part of that question came from, you mentioned Target is working really slim margins, but they're after all expenses. I'm sorry, Costco. Yeah. But they're like after all the labor costs and everything else too.
Yes, this is after, yes. So 17.4 is not after any labor costs, although this is after labor costs of an employee that was hired. So this is net everything except Beth and I's hours. One of the really awesome things is I just bought a house that's a rental, and this income was actually the deciding factor because I'm kind of capped out at First Bank, but First Bank basically was like, yeah, the income from your Amazon business made this a really easy decision. And so I was able to get a loan simply for having a business running for about a year and a half that supplied additional income where they were just like, this is an easy decision for us. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Do you have an estimate on how many hours you and Beth put into it?
Across 2016 and 2017? No, because, I mean, like real estate, right? When you learn real estate, you know, you learn a lot of stuff. And so 2016 was a ton of learning. 2017 was more execution and just learning as you went. But it wasn't a full-time job for me. And Beth has another full-time job, so it wasn't a full-time job for her. So.
What if you broke it down?
Oh, wait, question.
What if you broke it down into like, would it be easier to sum it up in how many hours per week you dedicate?
Yeah, I mean, when you start up a business, there's a startup cost to the business, right? So in the beginning is a shit ton of hours, right? In 2017, going through that year, you know, I'm not doing, you know, it's probably 4 hours a day or less just for me, but it's not full-time job, right? And if I would have hired VAs, virtual assistants, or an employee to do a lot of the work that I was doing, it could have been a lot less. So.
Yeah, but you're like really committed. I mean, you'd come over to my house and scan stuff in my cupboards just to see if it would sell for a profit. So.
Yep, something like that. So this is just kind of a map really quick of what sales in 2017 look like. There were 31,106 units ordered. The average sale price was about $28.50. You can see this is units ordered, and then Q4 happens, right? And stuff goes crazy. This is actually product sales. Q4, stuff goes crazy. And you can see our top selling category is not toys. It's beauty. And then toys, and then health and personal care, and then grocery, and then pet. And there's, I mean, in beauty alone, we almost sold $300,000 worth of beauty products. Like, that's insane. Toys, we sold, you know, 183,000. Health and personal care, 135. Grocery, 70,000. Pet supplies, 40,000. And then there's a whole list of other categories down here, which constitutes another 100K. So there's a lot of stuff. Dan.
I noticed from the previous slide that you went from your profit ratio from 10% to 17%. So in 2016, you're...
The margin?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of mistakes, a lot of learning.
Well, that was a pretty good evolution, like 70% improvement.
Yes.
Now, do you see that you quickly in 1 year top that? What kind of curve are you expecting? Are you expecting 25% in that?
This is where I expect margin to actually be, is somewhere between 15 and 20%. That's about what I would expect. If you're hitting margins of, you know, 30, 35%, you know, you're probably doing your own products or something different. But that's not a typical margin, right? If you're doing software, margins can be 80, 90%, but that's not this, right? So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, Royce asked, did you really have a day where you sold like 600 items? Yeah, it was like 584 or something. So class is going to go long, I can tell you now. James is just smiling. Questions back there for you. So can you get similar results? I'll let you ask your question first, because then I'm going to have everybody stand up or sit down.
So when you're out looking for products to sell, is there a rule of thumb like, hey,
yes,
this is
I'm
one
totally going to get to how to do this. Okay. So if you have a question about how did you do this, this isn't the last slide in the deck. Hold those questions for the end. I'm going to tell you everything I can possibly tell you, and then more, so that class is going to run long. But right now, I want you guys to think about you, and I don't care what your answer is. And you could be like, I'm never doing this Amazon stuff, so I'm not going to stand up for any of this. But stand up if you would like to make an extra $100 a month. And if everybody stands up, this is going to be a really boring exercise.
What's the next goal?
Yeah, I know. Like no. So we have a few people that are still sitting down, which is awesome. James is like $100, no thanks. Stay standing. So stand up if you would now change your mind, and $500 a month would make something worth your while. I got Barbie and Bob. Yeah. Who's still? Tammy's still sitting down. Kaz is still. What?
She's.
You just pimp James out. That's what you have to do for it. How about $1,000 a month? Anybody that's still sitting down, $1,000 a month? Oh, we got somebody up. James isn't standing. Is anybody nobody's sitting in the back? You're still sitting? Sure. All right, fine. Oh, perfect. So $1,000, still stand up. $1,000 a month is a Nomad down payment every year. So anyone with a green name tag, if you weren't standing up, I'd ask you, where are you getting your Nomad down payment? This is it. You could make $1,000 a month with this or any other side hustle if you really want to put your time into it. How about $100K a year for those of you that are still sitting down? I got him up. Tammy's still like, I'm not standing up. In case you didn't know, Tammy is apparently more wealthy than James is even aware. What number do I have to get to for you, Tammy? Because that's my last bullet.
Again, I'm not interested in doing the Amazon business, so.
But this isn't Amazon. This is just, are you interested in making $100K per year?
It's such a strange, out of context question for me. That, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I hardly ever raise my hand or participate.
Because she wants to be called out individually and talk for like 10 minutes by herself instead.
All right, Tam, can you bring the stool? We'll bring Tammy up here. All right, so you guys can sit down. So what I want you to think about now in terms of Amazon, and I really kind of want you to really blast me if possible. I'm sure Royce will help. But the mic's ready. Royce has the mic. What are the reasons that you, because I want to eliminate these excuses, right? What are the reasons that you think this couldn't work for you? Wouldn't know what to buy. Okay, wouldn't know what to buy. This is Royce's. He can't grow a beard like I can. Right? Or, more seriously, right? Like one of the reasons is, hey, it's too late to start. Everyone else is already doing this, right? So that's just crap. People were saying this 10 years ago. People said this about real estate 40 years ago. And look at all of us. We're still here buying real estate, right? Amazon is in its infancy, right? Believe it or not, it's going to keep growing. And if Amazon dies, there will be something else to replace it. So who said, did you say? What was your reason? I wouldn't know what to buy. You wouldn't know what to buy. So I'm going to tell you what to buy, or at least show you how to figure out what to buy. So no problem there. What else? Time. I don't have time. Yep, I'm going to get to that. Let's just cross over here. Yeah, so this is a fun one. I'll come back to time, right? Isn't doing this illegal? No, it's not illegal, right? There are definitely times where a company will send you a cease and desist letter and tell you to stop selling their products on Amazon, in which case you should probably just stop selling their products on Amazon. Yeah, yes. So Anna has actually sent 2 cease and desist letters to other people who are selling her product online. But I've gotten one of these. It was some stupid like spider catcher thing. You pull the trigger and it had some like wire things at the end so you could grab the spider and like not kill it and take it outside and set it down peacefully. And I was like, I'm killing it anyway, so I'm not using this thing. But I had a bunch of those and they sent me a cease and desist, so I just recalled them and returned them to the store. But no, it's not illegal in almost all cases. I'm sure if you are listing something and using someone else's copyright or someone else's trademark, obviously those are legal issues. Another one that commonly gets asked, who's going to possibly pay $50 for that piece of crap silver tray, right? Yeah, that's not even real silver, right? Imagine if it would have been a gold-colored one. It would have sold for like $150. But who really pays for this stuff? Like, all of you do, right? And there are people that live in New York City where it's not like, oh, hey, go to one of the 2 Targets. They're not going to Target. They don't have a car, right? They're just going on Amazon and they're shipping everything Prime right to their door all the time. Groceries, toiletries, everything they need. So don't think, oh, no one's going to buy this at this price. Totally not true. There's a product that Royce and I sell right now that's just stupid. And you would be like, why is anyone paying $45 for that? And you're like, I wouldn't pay more than like 15, right? But people are paying 45 and they'd probably pay higher. So we covered that one. What are the other reasons that you guys have? Time is on here, it's coming up. What else? It might get boring. Yeah? So anything might get boring, right? I mean, buying real estate might get boring. I think finding a side hustle that you have passion about, and I think there's more to it than just the money side, right? And I have a slide on that. There's a level of excitement for me, at least, that is I'm building a business that is making money, which is great, but it actually, I'm able to involve my family, right? The kids are involved, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And it's an exciting thing, right? Like you've gone from a $9,000 investment to making $140,000 in a year. That's pretty crazy. And then where can you take it from there? And you see the unlimited opportunity and you get really, 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 really excited. I do. I know Royce does. You put Royce and I in a room, we start talking about Amazon, we go home, we don't sleep for 3 days. We're like, I got too much to do. What was yours?
Not knowing how to price an item.
Okay. I mean, you're going to price it hopefully so that it sells profitably, right? But occasionally it's not. You're going to lose money. I mean, this is the same as real estate when we talked about the poker class, right? You're making expected value bets on things that are positive. If you made a good bet and you'd make it again, be happy with it even if you lose money. If you do making money 10 times and losing money 3 times, guess what? You're still making money, right? You're not going to win every time. I think that's true everywhere. I don't have any money, and Brian probably had a lot. I figured someone would say that, or they wouldn't say it in that completeness. You don't have to have money. I mean, you heard Royce say he put $2,000 in. You're like, I don't have $2,000. That's fine. I'm going to solve that problem for you in a minute, right? But $2,000, and he's now doing a really great business. Does it have to go fast? Do you have to scale like I scaled? No. Can you go slower and make a little bit less and still? A lot of you stood up with $100 a month, a lot more, 500, and a lot with 1,000. I'm going to show you, hey, this is what I think it takes to scale to $1,000 a month in profit. And then you guys can all go make your decisions. I don't have a real job, and you guys have a job and no time, right? So this is the biggest bullshit excuse I've ever heard, right? Like, I have 3 kids. I have at least 17 jobs. I have managing a property manager. I have watching 3 kids all summer. I mean, they stay at home with me. I have a real estate business to run. I have an Amazon business to run. But anyone in here who is fooling themselves and saying, I don't have time, what are you doing at night? Are you watching TV? Then don't complain to me, right? I don't want to hear it, because that's crap. You watching a football game on Sunday? Stop complaining. It's your own problem. You have plenty of time. Going out to eat, spending 2 hours, drinking at the bar, whatever you're doing, it's not reality. Like, this stuff takes time. If you can't make the time, you don't want it. That's not my problem. That's just an excuse. I have a higher risk tolerance. I can tell how fast people read. Right? Like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. There are definitely people in the room that have a higher risk tolerance than me. In fact, I tend to play it safe a lot of the times. My risks are very, very calculated, right? That comes from playing poker. I know when to get it in and get it in with the best of it, right? Very rarely do I get it in with the worst of it. And when I do, I've got a contingency plan. So, you know, would it have mattered if I would have invested $9,000 into Amazon and lost it? Yes, I would have cared, but would it have crippled me? No. So if you need to start with $100, start with $100. If you need to start with 1,000, start with 1,000. That's a different class. It's on the podcast. The answer is yes for 3 years. I don't care if I fail. How many people think I don't care if I fail? Yeah. I mean, most of the time I care if you guys fail, right? I'm like, no, like, don't do that. If you talk to me after class, that's not who I am. I totally care if I fail, but I'm probably planning for the contingencies. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the skills needed. Guess what? Neither did I. You're just as smart as me. You can go figure this out. Might take some of you longer. It might take some of you shorter. Some of you will do it way better. Some of you won't. That's okay. But it's all out there. There's, just like real estate, going and paying $40,000 for some class, you can probably learn it in NCREG. Just like this is all online. I didn't like make this up or like call somebody who was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be your mentor. That didn't happen. Timing isn't right for me. Sorry, I can't help you. This is the same thing as I don't have time, right? You just don't wanna do it, right? You can make the time. There's too much competition. You're looking around the room and you're going, oh geez, Royce and Brian have already been doing it. Some other people said they were doing it. I'm already behind the curve. I'm totally screwed. There's no way I can get this up and running. Horseshit. It's just not the case. Like, Royce and I will go shopping together at 10 at night until 2 in the morning, and we don't care, right? Like, we're competitors, but we'll go to the store and we'll be like, hey, check this out, and we'll just split whatever we find, right? It's the abundance mentality, just like in real estate. It's like, hey, oh, you found a deal? That's awesome. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I know the address of his deal. I gotta go. I'm out of here, right? I'm not gonna go steal his deal. It's not like that. So there is an unbelievable amount of opportunity, which I think Royce can attest to, that you don't have to worry about competition. There are billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars being spent on Amazon. I don't have a business plan. Yeah, I don't either. It's not an excuse. I don't have the connections that Brian does. I don't know what connections I had that you possibly think I had to help me on Amazon other than my connection to the internet. Like, that's it. So, James, you got something? You look like you had something. So, oh, I'm gonna need a mouse. So, anyone have any excuses I didn't cover? Yes?
Might be able to spend the same amount of time on something else that makes more money.
Yeah, so choose that side hustle, right? That's an easy choice. Like, do that other thing. So, Gary Vee, I got some videos for you. No money, here you go. Do we have a speaker?
Yeah, it's coming out of the television.
Oh, is it?
How to turn $100 into 1,000. I'll tell you how to turn 0 into 1,000. Go to Craigslist. Where's my Craigslist video? Turn off music, Gabi. Honestly, I think I just eliminated for the first time. In my career the excuse of no money. We think a lot about money and opportunity. Let me tell you about an opportunity that I can't get out of my head. This is like a big day for me. Literally for 30 years I've had to like pander to that excuse. It's over. There's a website called Craigslist.com. Under the sales section, there's a free section underneath that where people list shit that they want to get rid of. Go take it for free because most people just want you to pick it up because it's bigger or what have you. If you happen to actually have like a truck or like a bigger vehicle, then you are really set. Carry this shit on the bus. If you're broke, grab this, go on the bus, sit on the bus like this, everybody's gonna look at you, be like, yeah, keep laughing, come home, dude, take a picture, and then you list it on Facebook Marketplace, the arbitrage of the internet. We see this in retail where people buy things in China, post on Amazon. 15 bucks, somebody's like, yo, I'll take your table, ding dong, yo, hello, here you go, and you sell it. And when I think about this, I've been dreaming about this for the last 72 hours, by the way. The much more humble version, when you've got nothing, if you're just sitting like, I need money, like all those people that were like, yo, can somebody buy me Gary Vee's book? I can't afford it. That means, $17. I think it's like $300 a week. I think if you take your 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday and Tuesday, picking up shit, and then reposting it on Facebook Marketplace, and then meeting people on Saturday to come to your home and grab it. And then somebody's gonna say, but damn, it's gonna take 40 minutes to go there, 40 minutes to take on the bus, 5 minutes to post, 7 minutes. I'm gonna be like, but what are you doing with your time anyway? You're laying on the phone, going on people's accounts who are fucking winning, saying this guy's bullshit? Because that's what you're doing with your time when you're losing. It's crazy to me that the only thing that stops somebody from winning is education and the work ethic, right? I understand that. But education comes in so many different forms. Go to Craigslist, get free shit from the free section, take it, and then put it on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. 0 to 1,000. Steve, 0 to 1,000.
So there you go. If you have no money, you no longer have no money. You too can go make your first $1,000 doing that, and then you have no reason to complain.
And that was crazy.
Yep. You can go look up Gary Vee and figure out free stuff. So, and it's really amazing, right? Because you watch the kind of revelation that he has when he's like, hey, if you have zero money, like you need some, right? But if you're willing to do that work, like, yeah, do you have to spend time? Everyone's like, how much time do you spend, Brian? Yeah, I don't care, right? It's there now, and I know how to ramp it up to be 10x that, right? And I know how to hire people, and I know how to get it done so that it doesn't take my time. So when you ask me that in 3 years, and I'm like, that number has a 0 on it that I made in the year, and I'm like, well, I spent, 4 hours a week doing it, you're not gonna care how much time I spent, right? So I think that eliminates one excuse, and then part of it's just the work ethic, right? So he talks about two things at the end, right? Education and work ethic. So we're big on work ethic here, and education, you're all here. So no excuse for that. Here's the other one.
That if you go to the dollar store and you search everything they have in the store on your phone, on eBay, that you will find 7 to 15 items every time that are selling for $5 to $10 a piece on eBay, and you can buy for $1 right on the spot. So what I would do, if you're listening, is go to the dollar store, go to Job Lot, take a look.
Five Below.
That's right. Go look, take pictures. You got the Amazon app. You can even scan the barcode. It goes even quicker. You find something that's $3 there. You see that's selling consistently. Make sure you go to sold items, not what it's listed for. I'm giving you all the details now. Do how I taught my brother how to make money. Wake up at 5 a.m. every Saturday, go garage sailing, buy people's old for $1 and fling it and make $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 a weekend from garage sailing. Then you bought a bunch of shit on Saturday, Sunday. Don't watch the, Golden State and Spurs game. List that on eBay, right? Then you're working 9 to 9, 2 kids, welfare, I don't know, mortgages, student loans. I respect, but it's listed on eBay because, again, you didn't watch the Golden State Warriors game. I'll give you another one where you don't even have to leave your home. While you're on the bus for 2 hours, you can do this on your phone. Buy on eBay and repost it on Amazon. And if you don't know how, go to Google. How do I set up an eBay account? How do I set up an Amazon account? Because more people are buying on Amazon now than eBay. You could buy like a $10 hat on eBay for 10, but it's selling for like 13 consistently on Amazon. Now somebody's gonna say, oh, it's all about the money. No. One more time before we get it too twisted. If you're complaining, if you're unhappy, if you're good, work-life balance, leisure, playing games, going to every movie, every Friday night, the new movie, good. I'm so happy because listen, I got friends that make $10 million a year. They're miserable as
Yeah, so who are you making money with this weekend? Royce, we going shopping? I think that's the question. James is not going shopping. James doesn't like my videos.
Do you chauffeur people, James? Maybe that'll work.
Yeah.
Sorry, we get the mic.
I don't think he needs the mic for that question. I think we're going to call James and be like, hey, I need to go see a house. Can we stop by Target and Walmart on the way?
It would not be the first time.
For the record, not to delay class any longer, James has actually gone sourcing with me. He's a terrible sourcing partner. Do not take him with you. The first thing he does when he walks in is he sees security and he goes, we're just here to steal stuff. Seriously, never will they follow you around the store.
I tell them we're not here to steal stuff. That's what I tell them. Well, we're not here to steal anything. You can just stay up here. You can ignore us.
Yeah, which basically says we're going to be ripping the store off. So,
enough carts of stuff, they think you're stealing stuff.
Yes.
They're making a run for it.
Yeah. So when you load a cart up with a lot of one item or a lot of items and you're walking to the front, you're going to get eyes on you. There's no question. You just got to get used to it. Probably my favorite line, I was in Esches down in Loveland, and I had a whole bunch of stuff in my cart. A lot of it's the same. And this woman walked by, and she kind of looked at the cart, and she looked at me, and then she just, the best one-liner I've ever heard, she goes, you must be a professional. And I was like, thank you. I don't know what to say. Yeah. Oh, we need the mic. Is it a question I'm going to cover later in class?
I don't know.
Probably, but you can ask.
Do you go home then and just package it all up and send it to Amazon?
I'm going to tell you all the process stuff. So if you have any process questions or purchasing questions, save them until I don't answer them at the end. So here's how you start an Amazon business if you're actually interested. Get out your pencil. Go register an LLC. A lot of this is going to sound a lot familiar to real estate. Start yourself an LLC. You might want to file as an S Corp later. Contact your CPA. Don't pick a name with your name in it. Very similar to real estate. If you call it Brian Williams' Amazon business, I mean, you could. I'm not going to. Just like I name all of my trusts James Orr Trust 1, right? Don't pick your own name. I guess I should change that. Go get your EIN, right, from the IRS. Get your state and city sales tax certificates. This basically says I'm allowed to collect tax. Right? I can resell items. So go get those things. They're very simple to get. It's like $20 or something for the state one. You get a number, and then you're basically tax exempt on several purchases from lots of stores as well.
Because you're going to collect the tax later and remit it.
Yes, because you're going to collect the tax later. Don't buy personal stuff for it. Go open yourself a free checking account. Get a great credit card that has good cash back or miles. If you're a traveler, there's all sorts of deals out there. Royce told me about one the other day that's like, you know, go open 3 different credit cards and you can basically get, what, $10,000 or $15,000 worth of travel if you spend enough money, right? That's pretty amazing. I mean, and for the amounts of money that was being spent, it would take us like a month, right? So one of the ones we recommend is Citi Double Cashback. So it's 2%, 1% when you spend it, another percent when you pay it off. We're not ever accumulating interest on our credit cards. We're paying them off all the time. Open your Amazon account. There's 2 ways to do this. Your storefront name, which is how other people see you, doesn't have to match your LLC name. And there's a professional account, which is $40 a month. You don't have to start with that. You can start with the individual seller account. Just note that every item you sell, they're going to charge you an extra 99 cents because you're not a professional seller. So we can quickly do the math and see if you're going to sell 40 or 41 items in a month, you should have a pro account, right? And they used to give you a month free on the pro account, but I don't think they do that anymore. Too many sellers, they're like, yeah, we don't need to do this. We'll get extra $40 from the millions of people that are coming on. Then download the Amazon Seller app on your phone. Literally go and it's like called Amazon Seller. Search for it, download it, and that allows you to essentially log in on your account and scan anything you want barcode-wise. Basic supplies. You're going to need some boxes. Some of this is just crazy stuff. You can look back at the recording later and go, yep, yeah, I don't need to write this down. But reuse boxes you get from orders that you bought online. You don't have to have brand new boxes to ship to Amazon. If you're shipping to an actual customer because you're doing merchant fulfilled, you should probably have a nicer box. But get them free on Craigslist. Lots of people move. They're like, hey, I got a lot of boxes. I'm going to get some. Go buy at Home Depot or order from U-Haul. Can't be over 25 inches on any side unless what you're putting in it is also longer than 25. These are just some of the dumb things that I don't want you to miss. If you have a scale in your bathroom, it's what I use. It's like a 10-year-old scale. It does just fine. You don't need to go buy a super expensive one. Don't send in boxes that weigh over 50 pounds. Obviously, if your item weighs over 50 pounds, you probably don't want to send it to Amazon anyway. You're going to need a laser printer. You're going to need 30 up labels. What's a 30 up label? Obviously, this is only 10, but if all of them were here, it's 30 labels on a piece of paper. You're going to print barcodes on these and apply it to products. You can get these free. You can get shipping labels, which are the big ones from UPS, to slap on the outside of your boxes for free from UPS. You can also use a Dymo printer. I'm not covering that at all here. And then a bunch of other stuff you're going to need. You're going to probably need poly bags. That's what this thing is. So anything that's cloth. Warehouses are really dirty. You don't want to send a stuffed animal into a warehouse that's white and have a customer get it and have it be covered in dirt. So poly bags, Goo Gone, tape, packing tape, tape gun, paper towels, Scotty peelers. If you don't know what a Scotty peeler is, it's this crazy little thing, which I didn't know what it was. It's not like a tongue depressor or anything like that. But if you have a product and it comes with a price tag, you can literally take this, slide it underneath, and pull the price tag off really, really easily. Or you can just hire a prep center and send all of your stuff there from online, and they will take care of all of this for you.
Can I pass it around?
You're welcome to. We're going to be like, I got it stuck under my fingernail. Yeah.
I was thinking the real business is Brian sells Scotty peelers online. And this is like, oh, let me sell more Scotty peelers.
So someone is actually FBAing Scotty peelers and tape and poly bags and all of that on Amazon. And it's supplying stuff to Amazon sellers. What an ingenious business. What's growing really fast? Amazon sellers. What are they going to need? Supplies. Boom. There's a business, right? You can think about it like that. So here's your basic process for retail arbitrage. I'm going to walk you through it. Go shopping. Find valuable products in the store that are going to be profitable. That's it. Class is over. If you're Royce, charge a phone or get a second phone. Every time we go, my phone's dead. I'm like, well, I guess I'm buying everything. I'm secretly like decharging his phone. He just doesn't know. So how do you do that? We're going to get to that. List the product. So right from your phone, you scan it. You're like, yep, I'm going to buy this. You can literally hit list. You can type in the price you want to sell it for. You hit submit, and it's listed. Doesn't mean somebody can buy it yet, but it now means that you know you're actually able to sell it on Amazon because there's a lot of restrictions. Verify the product's in new condition. This product looks like it's in new condition. If this corner was dented in, it is no longer in new condition. Don't sell stuff that is not new, unless you're going to sell it as like new or used. Don't sell most electronics. So I've sold some cell phones, which is really weird because you're paying a higher price for them, like $200, and they're going to sell for like $600. And I'm always like, well, if somebody returns this, is going to suck. But if you sell stuff that's electronic, a lot of electronics come with manufacturer warranties. You are probably not authorized to sell the warranty with it. So you want to sell those as like new. These are just a lot of little tidbits. They're not going to like hamper your entire Amazon selling career. Buy your products, take them home. If it has an expiration date, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in your spreadsheet that you're tracking stuff, because you're going to need to type it into Amazon and tell them when it's going to expire. That expiration date, when you buy a product, if it's like, well, it expires in, November 30th, that's plenty of time, somebody will buy it. It's not. It needs to be 105 days plus whatever the time of consumption of the product is. So if you're selling something with a 90-day vitamin that's once a day, you need 105 days plus 90 days. Make sense? Simple, basic stuff. All this stuff is online. This isn't like secret information that you can't find. Remove any store stickers or price stickers with that little red thing that's like someone's got in their pocket and they're taking it home now. It's okay, I'll find you. Do any additional prep required by Amazon. So poly bagging, like I brought this. This is the new craze in case you haven't seen this. Whoa. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone's now totally amazed with James isn't impressed with anything. Let's be real. So this obviously needs to be in a poly bag. If it had a sticker, I'd take the price sticker off. You literally just take a poly bag. You would cover the UPC code, because when stuff comes into Amazon, Amazon is scanning that UPC code, so this needs to be covered. So you'd take a label like this, cut it in half, cover that barcode. You'd cram this thing in the bag, and you'd pull this off. I didn't cover it, which I had a label to actually cover it in here somewhere. But you cover it, and then you seal the poly bag, and you're done. Not very hard. Some things need to be bubble wrapped. Amazon will tell you what the prep requirement is when you plug it into their system. I'm actually selling that. Don't get it dirty.
Most of the time, but you should definitely pay attention and get to know, like, if something's glass and they're not telling you that it needs to be bubble wrapped, you're bubble wrapping it.
Yes. Do the obvious thing. If it's cloth and they don't say to polybag, you're polybagging it anyway, right? If it's something like that, or it's exposed where something's going to get dirty, even in a package that's mostly covered, still polybag it, right? It's not that hard. You can buy polybags of all sizes to fit all products. Anna's going to rebag that for me. Don't seal it though. So there's a lot of times you're going to sell small items. I don't know, like where'd the candy go? Like if we were going to sell something that was this size, right? A label will easily fit over this. We're going to print our own barcode labels and cover all the UPCs on an individual item. However, if the item is like mascara and the box is only this big, that label won't fit on it. You've got a couple of choices. You can take a really small poly bag, shove it in there, and then put the label on the outside, or you can use little tiny Ziploc bags, which you can buy as well, and label it that way. A lot of times, some of the most profitable items are bundles on Amazon. So instead of selling one of these, I'm going to make a new listing that's two of these, right? And it's this one and the other most popular one, which I don't know what it is. And I'm going to bundle them together. So in that case, same thing. You're covering the UPC codes that are going to go in there with blank labels, shoving them in a poly bag, sealing that poly bag, and then anything that's more than one, you need a sticker. You can buy these. Someone is also FBAing these and making lots of money by selling these. Do not separate, in case you can't read it. This is a set. Do not separate. So if you don't have that on it, there's a chance that Amazon may open your box and go, oh, it's a bag of stuff, and open it. So simple, easy. Add all of your stuff to your shipment online. Print your labels, which are going to look like barcode labels. It's going to look something very similar to this, and you're just going to slap that on the correct product. That's how Amazon knows that it's your product. You don't want to commingle products. The problem with commingling is that Anna sends in counterfeit products. She doesn't, but if she did, and she sent it in on, let's say we're selling, these things, she sends in a bunch of knockoffs from China. and I send in the real deal, and they're commingled. That means neither of us labeled them. They're just thrown in the same bin. My customer orders one. They walk to that bin, and they pull out a counterfeit one. It's not mine. I didn't send it in. It gets sent to my customer. My customer says, this is counterfeit, and files a claim against me. But it's really her problem. But Amazon doesn't know that because you commingled your product. So don't commingle your product. It's a huge risk. There are probably some okay reasons to commingle, but on a few products, but I'd say Royce and I don't recommend it. Pack all your stuff in boxes and supply box contents to Amazon. Amazon requires you tell them what's in every single box. That way when they open it, they know what to expect. And then print shipping labels, put them on the boxes, and drop it off at UPS. That's the whole process. Royce, did I miss anything?
That looks right to me.
Perfect. Royce is like, that's not how I do it at all.
Place an order, record what it is, and send it to somebody else.
Yep. So this is the do-it-yourself model, right? Which I think is great. So what happens now? Well, product arrives at an Amazon warehouse or multiple warehouses. Lots of times they'll have you ship stuff all over. They're going to unpack it and check it in, and sometimes they literally unpack it and ship it right back out to a different warehouse of theirs because they need it somewhere else so they can fulfill the Prime promise, which is 2-day shipping. So if everyone sent it to in New York and they're getting orders in California, it's really hard for them to get the product to California in 2 days. So they'll take some of the product that you ship to New York, they'll ship it to California on their own dime, and then they have product in California they can sell as well. So that's known as FC transfer. FC is fulfillment center. I already explained why that's done. As soon as it's checked in, literally as soon as they boop and pull it out of the box, it's for sale online and it's live. And there are many times where I swear they pull it out of the box and they just put it in a box and ship it back out to a customer for really fast selling items because it's that fast. So you're going to adjust your pricing as needed. Amazon has you can just log into the Amazon Seller Central site and you can adjust your pricing as you want. The product sells. Amazon goes and picks it and packs it. If you've ever seen videos of the warehouse, they have people walking around and they ship it to your customer and boom, you make money. We're all done. Everyone know how to do it? Not yet, huh? Any questions on that? That's just the basic overall process of how it works. I'm going to dive into details and give you examples coming up. Barbie's cold. James is taking pictures. What a dork. Everyone look at James and wave. So, how do people buy your stuff? Selling products is dependent on the buy box. So I'm sure all of you have been on Amazon. This add to cart button is the buy box. Lots of times, you won't even notice who's selling this product. Amazon? Yeah, it's not because it's sold by your best offer. It tells you who it's sold by. A lot of times, people just think, I'm clicking, I'm on Amazon, I put it to my cart, Amazon's selling it to me, which they're fulfilling it, right? Which is why it says fulfilled by Amazon. But the company's name that's actually selling it, unless it says sold by Amazon, it's not Amazon. Like 50% of the sales are not Amazon sales. So most people don't know that. If you ask my mom, she'd be like, I didn't know that, right? She doesn't buy on Amazon anyway. But sellers get rotated through this buy box, right? And it is based on a formula that no one really understands or knows. We just have kind of guesses as to what it is. But it's if your price is about within 3% of the lowest FBA price, as long as that FBA price is reasonable, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of other things, but you will get rotated through into that buy box as well. If you're not in the buy box, are people buying your product? Probably not, because in order to do it, there's a little link down here which I cut off, which is like also available from 7 other sellers. You'd have to click that, then go find that company and buy it from them. So you want to be in the buy box. There's not always a buy box. So sometimes when prices, I think in Amazon's opinion, get to be too high, you've got see all buying options. So in that case, there is no buy box. You're going to have to click this and you're basically going to see the list of sellers that sell it and then you can add it to a cart. In this case, what are you competing on? Price. Almost solely price. However, if you click this and the first guy has like a 2-star review rating and he's got like 3 reviews, are people buying from him? No. So people are going to make that evaluation based on what they see, but price is the main component of what you're actually doing. Whew, I should have had Royce teach this slide. So tools of the trade. Really quickly, you can go look all these up. This is going to be online. So Seller Central, which is Amazon's site for FBA, manage inventory, respond to customers. Pretty much, it is their suite of how you interact with FBA for Amazon. Inventory Lab. You don't have to have this. I didn't have it for a long time. This basically is an inventory management tool where you can list your products, adjust your pricing, do kind of all the same stuff that Seller Central does, but it also gives you a lot of reporting for how's this product doing, and it's very easy to see, which Amazon doesn't give in that same way. Anything you want to add about Inventory Lab, Royce?
Yeah, I actually think this is one of the software suites I would recommend everybody has from the beginning. It's $49. It's not crazy expensive, but it is going to help you keep track of how much you bought an item for, how much it ended up selling for, and it handles all of the in-between components and Amazon's fees. Brian used a spreadsheet or still uses a spreadsheet, but this automates it, and it is much easier to, I guess you'll be in a much better state at the end of the year when it comes time to do your accounting and figuring out what your cost of goods sold are than if you don't have something like this.
Ask Royce whose taxes were done first.
That is true.
Guy with Inventory Labs or guy with no Inventory Lab? So either way, it is $49 a month. So if you're just starting out and you're only investing $200, this is not for you. Don't spend $50 a month on this tool. That doesn't make sense. So you can go look that one up. RevSeller, which I'm going to show you later, is probably the best tool you can buy for online arbitrage. It basically is a plugin that shows up on the Amazon pages so you can evaluate very, very quickly whether or not it's going to make you money. Keepa, which I'm also going to show you later, shows basically a graph of historical reference of how well that product is sold, how many sellers, what was the price, kind of everything you ever wanted to know about the product. BeCool or Inform.co, which used to be known as AppEagle, these are both repricers. So they can automatically reprice your stuff based on formulas that you set. If you're like, I want to reprice the lowest FBA as long as I'm still making 30% ROI, you can set that up. It's very interesting, and I need to get that set up because I'm repricing by hand still, and Royce thinks I'm insane, and he's right. Feedback Genius. So when you start off and you've got zero, kind of like on eBay, when you've never done a sale, people are like, I don't know if I want to buy from that person. Like, are they shady or not? So similar on Amazon, you want to get some seller feedback that's all 5 stars. So Feedback Genius sends out emails after you make a sale and tries to get customers to review you. Once you get to a couple hundred, in my opinion, you can probably turn this off. I still use it. Royce does not. Tactical Arbitrage. So this is a tool that costs like $99 or $129 or $149 a month. This is basically a way to find online leads. So you can go plug in criteria and search the entire Target online store automatically, and it will return leads for you, and then you have to filter through the leads. And there are like, I don't know how many stores, hundreds and hundreds of stores.
I think there's over 1,000 stores now, and it's this is a great tool. It's a lot of data.
It's a lot of data. You could probably, if everyone in here understood Tactical Arbitrage, I could probably run enough queries on Tactical Arbitrage to keep all of you busy filtering through that data 24/7. Like, it's just crazy. There's lots of other useful tools. There's BrickSeek, which used to be a Lego kind of, oh, I'm trying to find this Lego box or set. I want to see if it's in Target or Walmart, but that's now useful for finding good deals. There's Amazon Quick Copy, RevROI, Jungle Scout, Seller Locker. You can look them up. They're not like, oh, I need to have this right now. And a lot of these are just Chrome extensions. So if you don't like Chrome, if you can not take pictures of the slides, that would be great. It'll be published, but we don't allow pictures. So a lot of these are Chrome extensions that alter the look of the Amazon listing page, and I'll show you what some of those look like. So even if you're not starting an Amazon business, this slide is probably the most useful slide for you to save money on your own personally. Cashback and gift cards. So the app that's being used here is called RevROI. You don't need it to find this, but if we went to JCPenney and we were going to spend $100, what this tells us is there's all these cashback sites that are willing to give us up to 10% cash back just for going through their site to get to JCPenney to shop. So if you spend $100 on JCPenney and you use Ebates to get to their site, they'll give you $10. Does that seem crazy?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you didn't know about this, you're like, oh man. So in addition to that, this is gift cards. There are lots of gift card sites where you can go and purchase gift cards at a discount. So in this case, we can go to Cardpool and get a 12.4% discount on JCPenney cards. So if we're going to spend $100 at JCPenney, we could literally go and buy gift cards for $87.60 that are worth $100 at JCPenney. And most of them are online and they're sent to your email within a minute. So it's not like a slow process. So now I'm already down to $87.60. I'm getting 10% back on the $100 I spent. So there's 10 bucks. And I'm using my credit card to get $2 in cash back from the 2%. So instead of spending 100 bucks, I'm spending $75.60. Holy shit, right? You just saved 25% by spending a little extra time. Imagine what you could do if you're trying to buy products to sell on Amazon and you're stacking discounts like this.
You can do that with Home Depot for your real estate too.
Yep, you can do it with Home Depot for your real estate. So, if you only use this for your personal purchases, it was worth your time to come to class because you'll save a ton of money. I bought a professional drum kit from Guitar Center and basically bought a lot of gift cards standing in the parking lot, buy, and they're like, we need to have a copy of your ID. I'm like, here it is, and then bought some more and walked into the store and saved like 500 bucks. So it's not that hard to save a lot of money. We haven't even got to coupons yet, right? So you can actually send, obviously sites have coupons and sales and whatever. So Ebates is mainly the one that I use for cashback. Top Cashback is good, but any of those are good. Ebates also has coupons, so that when you install the Chrome extension, you can actually hit apply coupons. It will automatically try to apply the coupons on the site for you. You don't even have to do it, right? Honey is the same way, and they have way more, although theirs is really slow, so I just tend to look at the coupon codes and plug them in myself because I'm faster. So these are apps. If you're personally, go look up Ebates, go look up Honey. You're going to save a lot of money based on that. Search online for coupons at the store you're going to do. Get on email lists. So lots and lots of ways to save money when you're buying product. Anything you want to add to that? I'm just distracting you from your phone.
I have a VA emailing me right now asking me what she should be doing. So. That's right. Yeah, I mean, anything you can do to increase your margins, like gift cards is a huge other area, right? And I think
covered that.
Okay. Yeah.
He was asleep.
I don't see.
Never mind.
I don't see it up there.
That was the whole last slide.
Oh, see that.
Royce isn't paying attention.
A question in the back of the room. 1 second.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to put you on the spot. My bad.
I was just wondering, you said that last one, the slides was Rev ROI. Is that an app, or do you pay for that? Is there a monthly fee?
Yeah, it's like a
one?
one-time fee of like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that. You can just search on it. It's a Chrome extension, REV ROI. It's listed on the previous slide as well.
Are you publishing the slides?
They're on the video for
Okay,
recording.
we're
so
gonna
I assume.
because I think we were talking about us not doing that, but we are doing.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So enough about coupons. You're all like, dude, I still don't know how to do this, right? Okay, here we go. Let's walk through an example at Target, an actual real-life example. Basic criteria. So I'm going to talk more about criteria. Find products that sell in less than 60 days. Why? Because turns matter. We want to turn our inventory over and over and over, because if you can make 30% profit and you turn it every month, you're not making 30% a year. You're making 30% on 30% on 30% 12 times. That's amazing. Those are great returns. I want at least $4 to $5 in profit, and if it's a higher priced item, I want higher profit. I'll dive into criteria a little bit more later. So we go to Target. We're walking around the store. We see this thing that's like a Flip-A-Zoo. How many of you have seen Flip-A-Zoos? Oh man, should have come to my house last year. I had like giant boxes of Flip-A-Zoos in my house. So there's these things, it's like a unicorn, and then you like pull the thing over the head and it becomes a dragon. Kids love them, they're stuffed animals, it's about this big. So you walk in through Target and you pick one up and you use your app and you scan the UPC, and this is what comes up on my phone, because I can't show you my phone any other way. So this comes up and we simply touch here, and this is the screen we get. The screen tells us a lot of stuff. It tells us the title, it shows us what it looks like. These are really cool if you have kids. It tells us what the current low price is. It tells us if Amazon is selling it. If Amazon's selling it, you may not want to sell it, but I compete with Amazon all the time, and it's fine. A lot of times they share the buy box. Not a big deal. A lot of people are scared of that. It tells you how many other people are selling FBA offers. 17. Is that scary? No, because they're not all priced at $28.97, which if you click here, you could go see. 28 total offers, that's people that are doing merchant fulfilled. So 17 FBA and 28 other. Low price minus the fees, $9. That's what Amazon's going to charge. Does that seem high? Do you care? Can you build a website like Amazon and attract billions of dollars in potential sales? I'm not spending my time doing that. I'm happily paying $9 for that. I might do that. James is going to do that. So we're going to click here, and this is what comes up. So we're under Amazon Fulfilled. This is the price we can sell it for. This is what we can buy it for, $10.18. We can make $9 by buying this one product. Pure profit. You going to buy it? Yeah, so there's a lot of things to look at as to what you're going to buy, right? Rank is one of them. So that's what this number is, right? Rank, category. So 28,000 in toys happens to be a really great rank. I would buy every single one of these, and that's why you won't find them in Target, because I've already bought them all. If you think I'm joking, try and go find one. There's different variations of Lipizoos, but these are long gone. I ordered these from Canada 2 years ago in like bulk. So they were great. They were selling for like $36.95 when they first came out. So this is an easy buy. We're going to take that and we're going to put it in the cart. This really confusing graph is what you would then pull up on your phone. You can go to Keepa. This is a Keepa graph. This is basically, they've been tracking this for 937 days, which is basically since the product came out. And this shows you, this is just showing you a 3-month view. I'm going to kind of walk slowly through this graph. This green line is basically the rank. This side, 0 rank, 50,000 rank. If we kind of drew a line through that, it's kind of like the average rank. Seems right around 18,000, 20,000, something close to that. All these other dots are buy boxes, which is what the buy box price was at that point in time, or what new FBA sellers were listing the product for. So I'm going to show you a zoomed in version of 1 day of this in a second. This is the number of sellers, right? Hey, look, the price was here. We had a bunch of new sellers come in. What happens when you add supply? Price usually goes down, right? Look what happened. Price went down. Price stayed down. The supply starts to dwindle. What happens? Price went back up. Came back down a little peak, right? And you can kind of see a lot of the correlation. Doesn't always happen that way, but in a lot of times it does. So now what's happening? Supply got really low, and then, I don't know, a couple days ago, some Targets must have got some in, so maybe you should go look for these, because you can find them and buy them and make $9. But the price is kind of going up. So that is really what the Keepa graph is about. You can toggle all of this stuff on and off. You can look at eBay, new and used. You can look at used. But this is really where I have my settings at. So you can click into different things. Every time you see, I'm going to zoom in. So this is a 1-day version. So this is the rank during, it was probably yesterday when I pulled this graph. Every time you see this line go down, it is likely a sale at least of 1 unit, right? Because the rank is dropping. So if something was ranked 30,000, how does it get to be ranked 20,000? Someone must have bought it because now it's more popular than other products. So imagine all the millions of products on Amazon and all the sales that are constantly happening. Rank is constantly moving, right? It's not like something just stays at 20,000. Things are selling and then it sells, and then something else sells and then it sells. So rank is kind of shifting. So you really need to look at kind of that average rank across time, which is what you see here. And I'll show you where to see that in a second. Any question on Keepa? You could spend, I could literally teach an entire class on Keepa. So it's very quick. Where's the mic? Behind you.
So that's a different app than the Amazon seller app?
Trying to swallow water. Yes. It's a different app. So this is also, you can go get the Chrome extension for Keepa, or you can just go to Keepa.com. So when I'm in a store, unfortunately, there is no Keepa app on my phone. So I will pull the ASIN, which is the identification number from Amazon. So if I come back here, this is the ASIN. And I can just pull that number and go put it in Keepa, and it will show me that same graph on my phone. So I can always see it.
There's another one called like Camel that if Keepa's not tracking it, you can go look at occasionally. Some people like to use it over Keepa, but
yeah. I used to use Camel, but Keepa's just way easier and I think better.
Back at that Amazon app that you had, and it showed the $9 profit, that's the profit that you would made if Amazon had it in their inventory.
This is the profit that you would make if you sent it in and sold it at this price.
So that doesn't cover your shipping cost to Amazon.
Yep. Well, it kind of does because I've estimated 75 cents per pound, which is much higher than it's actually going to cost me to send this in. So it's already taking that into account, and it thinks this weighs a pound for some reason, which is insane because it doesn't. But yes, you can plug all those settings into the phone app. How much does it cost to ship it, and all the rest of the stuff that you want to look at.
Does it also include your credit card rebates and coupons and stuff like that?
No. So this 1018, like if you have a Target Red card, you're getting 5% off at Target or a Target credit card. So it includes that because that's the price I'm calculating in store. My 1018, it's like $9.98 times 0.95 for the 5% off times 1.073 for the tax, and I got 1018. So I do that, but here I'm buying in store, so I'm not including the 2%. The 2% credit card thing is like a bonus that I get like every month, right? And it's, for me, it's like it's somewhere between $1,000 and $3,000 a month. Right? It's just, boop, here you go. Same thing with the Ebates or the cashback sites. It's like they send a check every quarter, and it's just like, oh, that's amazing. I've been clicking this button, and someone just sent me a check for $3,500. Awesome, right? So, any other questions on Keepa? No. Perfect. So this is what you would see if you actually looked on the Amazon page. This box right here is RevSeller. So this box gives you all the information in one box that you need to make a purchasing decision. So let's say these were offered on Target.com, and you could go buy them for the same price of $10.18. This tells you what today's rank is. It also tells you 90-day average of price and rank, which is super useful because I care more about what it was ranked for 90 days in a row than what it ranked today, right? If 10 people bought it today, it might be ranked 2,000 in toys, but really it's normally ranked at 50,000. So I care what the average is. I can basically plug in my cost. It'll pull up my net. You're like, why isn't it $9, Brian? Because I have different settings in RevSeller because all the online stuff I do gets sent to my prep center. So I have additional settings that are costs for me in there, but otherwise it would be the same. Also tells you the ASIN, it tells you how much it weighs, it tells you that it's dimensional weight. So Amazon's basically looking at it as if it was almost 5 pounds, which is again really stupid on this product. It tells you kind of what the dimensions of the products are, and of course, it tells you your ROI and margin, which are super important, and I'm going to cover those in a second. So RevSeller is awesome. It's like $99 a year, and I can get you 20 bucks off on it if you want it. Any questions on that? Hang on.
A tip, maybe you can call Seller Central and tell them to remeasure.
Yes, you can have them do a cubic scan. Yep. So in this particular case, they're probably right because it's a bigger product, and all the bigger products they've been moving to dimensional weight.
They did over a pound and
yes.
for $1 and
yep.
And when I called, they lowered it, and I was able to get all my money back.
Yeah.
When I didn't notice.
So if you think something's incorrect, you can always go to Amazon Seller Central and open a case with Amazon or chat with a rep and say, hey, can you have this rescanned? And they have a little device that they're going to go and shove it in front of it, and it's going to go, it weighs this much, and this is the dimensional weight, and then they're going to solve it.
And just as a comment for you, you can request all the previous units that sold, okay, and get refunded for the $1,000. Right.
Yep. So when we kind of remember when there was, this is like clicking on the link that takes you to, hey, there's 17 other sellers selling it. That's what this page looks like. So one of the plugins that I have, and it's actually Keepa that's doing this, shows stock levels. Keepa will only show stock levels up to 20 units. So in this case, this guy's back ordered. I'm going to just tell you he probably has 1 to 3 units that are going to come in and they're going to sell. Back ordered, they normally don't have tons and tons of units. So when we look at pricing our item, back ordered, back ordered, back ordered, back ordered, back ordered, back ordered. The first guy is $33.89. He's got 1 in stock. The next guy's back ordered. The next guy has 1 in stock. The next guy's back ordered. I need to go to the next page because I'm probably not pricing it $29 like we have on the previous slide. I'm probably pricing it like $35.95. Does that make sense? Yep. So be aware, you don't just want to price the lowest price or the price that your phone tells you to price at. You need to actually go look and decide what makes sense to price at. All right, here's the dive on rank and category. So a good lead should have a profit of $4 to $5. We kind of already covered that. Unless it's selling at a really low price. So if you're selling at something that's like $8 and you're buying it for $2.50, right? You probably want to make like 100% ROI on that. Because if you're only making like 70 cents, do you really want to send that in and sell it, right? The product goes down a little bit. No, Royce is going to say,
I do all the time.
I do. Yeah. So people sell different stuff, right? Royce is selling some wholesale stuff like that, not arbitrage stuff, right? You're not buying stuff at Target that's making 70 cents.
That is correct.
Yes. So example, sell a $15 product, that's your COGS, and you're going to profit $5, or buy something for $2.50 and then sell it for $8 and make $2.50. Those are okay. But if you're making 50 cents on the $2.50, it's probably a pass unless you're doing wholesale. As that sale price rises, so if you get up to a $50 or $100 price point where you're selling the profit or selling the product at and your profit's $5, does that seem like a good decision? Why not?
Because you can.
Huh?
I was going to say, yeah, your time and capital that could be invested in something else, and the odds are that it's going to go down and you're going to lose money.
Yeah, the real reason here is your margin is very, very low, right? The answer is actually right in the bullet point, which I just realized. But your margin's really low. If your product is $100 and you have $5 in profit from that, and your product drops to $95, your profit's gone, right? So margin's important. I'm going to talk about margin in a little bit. Minimum ROI should probably be close to at least 30%. Royce, what's your criteria for minimum ROI? 30%?
Yeah, I mean, that's typically.
And while there's exceptions, these are the ranks of the categories that I would recommend that you stick to if you're trying to sell stuff relatively fast. Toys less than 200,000. So that rank for the Flip-A-Zoo, it was like 28,000, and the 90-day average was like 18,000 or something. So that definitely fits in there. Beauty, less than 100,000. Baby, these are different categories on Amazon, less than 30,000. Grocery, less than 60,000. Pets, less than 60,000. Health and personal, less than 100,000. These are my personal things that I try to stay under. I've definitely bought stuff in toys that's ranked 350,000, but it's like buying 2 with a really high profit, right? I'm not buying 20. So the goal for me is to buy stuff that turns over in 1 to 2 months and makes a decent profit so that I can continue to reap the ROI month and month and month and month. Your average rank determines your sales velocity, right? The sales velocity of product that's ranked number 1 in toys is really, really high. They're selling hundreds and hundreds of units probably a day. I can attest to this because I've sold the number 1 ranked toy, and as soon as I hit the buy box, I'm out of inventory. It's crazy. So, and that's what's mind-boggling. So I probably had 200 units of the number 1 ranked toy. I hit the buy box for like 15 minutes twice, and I was out of inventory. So if you just stop and think about how is that possible that in a half an hour, 200 different people bought mine, and then that was like only a half an hour out of the day. And then that's happening all day long. And I might not even been the highest buy time of the day. So how many units you will sell at a certain rank, right, depends on your price and how many other sellers there are. This is super important to understand. So a product that sells 15 units a month and is stable at a rank, so it's been at that rank for a long time, kind of consistently selling, how many will you sell each month?
It depends.
15. Any other answers? 1. Depends on how many buyers. Yes. Sellers, yes. Exactly. It depends on how many other sellers there are. If there's 4 other sellers and you add yourself to that, there's now 5 total. 15 units are selling a month, divided by 5 sellers, you're only selling 3. If you buy 30 of this product thinking I'm going to sell this out in 2 months, you're not going to do it. You have to think about how many people are selling and hitting the buy box. Does that make sense? Just for the record, it's almost impossible to give a 2-hour overview of this business in any depth. So margin versus ROI. Return on investment. Yep, sorry, Dan.
The buy box, do you get stats on the buy box?
You can in the Amazon Seller Central app. Yeah, you can see how often you have the buy box. So ROI, right? We all know what return on investment is. Simply profit divided by original investment. We calculate this all the time for real estate deals. So for example, buy a product for 20 bucks, that's your cost, sell it for 35, and let's say you profit $10. What's your ROI? Profit is original investment was 10 divided by 20, 50%. We put how much in? $20 in, we got $10 back out in profit. 50% ROI. Margin is the difference between your selling price and your cost. This is that example we just used with the $100 product. So example, buy a product for 25 and note we're going to have 15 bucks in Amazon fees here, right? It's selling for 50 and our profit is 10. What's the margin? $10, right? Profit, you're going to make 10, and essentially we have $40 that it costs us to get that 10. So, difference between selling price and our cost. So 50 minus the 25 minus the 15. Margin is super important to understand. Let's look at it slightly differently. A different way. If the selling price drops by $10, you would now profit 0. Your profit is gone. So, the margin is that $10 divided by the $50. So it's 20% margin. So if you think Costco, right, after everything, they've got like 6% margins, they're running really thin. You don't want to run that thin. I would say, you know, find it at least 20% margin, if not higher.
And I mean, the reason it's so important, right, they can run at 6% because they have a captive audience of buyers that are coming in. They're the only people that are selling it in that store. Obviously, they're competing with, you know, Walmart and everybody else. But like, right, it's, yeah, and they're doing huge volume.
Well,
but
Amazon's doing huge volume.
Yeah, Amazon's
too.
doing huge volume, but you are selling against
Yes.
everybody else, and it is literally changing every 15 seconds. Prices just changing. You're competing with the next person that is also trying to get that buy box.
Yep. And so this is especially true for higher priced products, right? If you're like, oh yeah, Brian said $5 profit, this item costs, you know, $90, I'm gonna make $5, you're gonna get hosed. Price is gonna drop to 85 or 80, and now you're gonna be negative. So here's another way to think about this. A 30% price drop for a $50 product, right, is 15 bucks. However, for that $15 product, it's only 3. Right? So a lower priced item, it's harder to drop more because you're heading to 0. Right? A higher priced item with lots of competition, man, you'll see stuff that's like, hey, it's $70, then it's $60, then it's $40, and then it's $35.95. If you were expecting to make $10, you're now losing like 20. So. You caught it. Well done. 30 times 15. I changed it halfway through. Good job. You owe me a burrito. Actually, you owe me 100 burritos. So yes, $4.50. Margin matters. Would you buy this product? So rank is good. 90-day average rank is good. It's in toys. Looks great, right? You can tell what product it actually is, but I changed the price. So I really just want you to look here. $50 sell price, $30 buy cost, you're making $5. How many of you would buy this product? Perfect. You've all learned well, right? Your margin is basically 0 if the price drops 10%. So no, you don't want to buy this product. It's too risky. So how about this one? How many of you would buy this product? Yeah, this looks a lot better, right? So price can drop to $12 before it's break even. If something's been consistently selling at 17, dropping to 12, that's a huge price drop, right? That's almost like, what percent is that, James? 33.2156? Something like that, right? It's roughly a third price drop. So this has much, much better margin. You've got 33% margin here. Does that make sense? Margin's super, super important. Okay, I might actually be on time. Maybe I'll be early, James. What do you think?
Maybe. Take questions.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be late then. So this is the thing where this is mind-blowing, and you're going to look at it and go, that's not real. The math is right. I double-checked it, unlike the other part. James can take the calculator. So if you have a return on investment of your products at 20%, and you turn your inventory entirely 4 times a year, right? I'm trying to turn my inventory every month to 2 months. If you just simply had $1,000 and put this in and do the math, right? in 1 year, you're going to make profit. This isn't including the original $1,000. You're going to make $1,000 profit in 1 year by doing that. Just simply 20% ROI, 4 turns a year. 3 years from now, it's almost 8 grand. So, what does the difference of 2 turns a year make? How much? What do you think 1 year is? James is doing math. Don't do math, James. Just guess.
I don't know, 12.
Yeah, so in 1 year, you've got $2,000 in profit from those 2 extra turns. So buying those products that are turning over faster helps you make more money, right? Here's where it gets crazy. After 3 years, it's a lot different, right? You've basically turned a bunch more times. So you've turned $1,000 into over 25K by simply turning your inventory 6 times with a 20% ROI.
So can I clarify something? You're reinvesting this profit and continuing, right? You're reinvesting all profits.
It's actually not. It's just literally 1,000 times.
Can't be, otherwise it wouldn't
Yeah, it's
just be 1,000
reinvested.
every year.
Yes. Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep. You're not pulling stuff from the business. And I'd highly recommend until you have a lot of money in reserve so that you can buy inventory, especially in Q4, that you don't pull money from the business. Stack it back in. So yes, it is reinvesting. It's taking the $1,000 times the 20%, so you get $1,200, and that's the first turn, and you reinvest the $1,200, and then you reinvest the $1,400 or whatever and change. So what happens if we just bump up the ROI just 10%, which is a lot, but if you're only looking for products that are 30% or higher, and some of them are going to be 80, 90, 100%, right? You're going to find those things like Target and Flipazoo. It's basically 100% ROI. You're paying $10 and you're making $9, 90%.
And just out of an abundance of clarity, sometimes you get the 80, 90% return on investment. Sometimes you take a small loss on a product so that it does that. So your average is 30.
Yep. Yep. I'm going to cover that. It's coming. But yes, you're not going to win on every product. So this is the average, your overall ROI. So ROI of 30% at 6 turns a year. In 1 year, like, it's crazy. You're almost at $4,000 profit. That doesn't include the original $1,000 investment. What do you think 3 years looks like? Anybody want to take a guess?
142,000.
Yeah, 111,000.
Whoa.
So if you're able to take a $1,000 original starting investment and on average 30% ROI and turn it 6 times a year, so your inventory is turning every 2 months, and on average you can do that, and you're able to reinvest that money and place it all, right? That 1,000 would turn into $111,000. That's where the magic of compounding really matters, right? James taught an entire class on this, the 8th wonder of the world. He's laughing now.
We'll never teach that class again.
He's never teaching it again because we just taught it right here. What's your question?
So the question is, your ROI from earlier when you kind of shared your numbers, was it like you said 15 to 20 is kind of your target?
So my ROI was 36% in 2017, but that's just, hey, 826,000 in sales, and there was 400,000 in inventory bought, and the profit that came out of that. So it's actually the profit of 140 divided by the 400,000.
And the other thing to kind of point out, I think, is that in your real numbers, you were not reinvesting every penny to do it and try to do it. You were reinvesting a lot of it, but you were taking some money out.
In 2017, yeah, some money came out, but in the beginning it was just leave it all in and place as fast as possible, and if you could place more, then great, right? I'm not recommending anyone go out and get a $25,000 limit on their credit card without knowing what they're doing and blowing $25,000 on inventory and then trying to pay that off with the money coming back from Amazon. You will probably not like that end game if you do that right away. So, could you go find products that sell in 1 to 2 months that make 20 to 30% ROI with a little bit of your spare time? How many of you think you could do that? Who didn't raise their hand, and why don't you think you could do that? Unless you're just like, I don't want to, and that's fine. Yeah, I don't need that. I know what your answer is. So, here's how I think you can scale to $1,000 a month in profit as fast as possible, and the effort it would actually take. And Royce can tell me if he thinks I'm full of it or not. So, at somewhere between 15 and 12.5% net margin, right? So my net margin was 17.4, so I'm like lowering that by quite a bit. 12.5% margin on average shouldn't be that hard to achieve. You're going to need, at 15%, $6,700, and at 12.5%, $8,000 a month in gross sales. You're like, oh my God, $8,000 a month in gross. It's gross sales, right? So assume your average sale price is 20, which I don't know. Do you know what yours is?
Yeah,
Higher?
Like 1995 or something.
Yeah, so his is like 20 and mine is like 28 or 29, right? Because I sell higher class stuff. No, I don't know. He's making 70-cent profit on like 1 million units a month or something. And
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not lower, to be honest.
yeah, it seems like it should be low. Maybe it's on its way down. So given that, you'd need to sell 400 units in a month. That means you need to find, buy, ship in 400 units in a month. I will tell you that some of my shipments are like 800 units out of my own house, and that's a nightmare. You'd much rather do smaller shipments. But it's not that difficult. So how do we do that? Let's think about it as going and buying 10 units of 40 different products. You've got a month to do it. So go source 5 stores a week. Try and find 3 products that you could buy in each store and sell. That doesn't seem that overwhelming, right? Go to 1 store each night, or go to 5 on the weekend, I don't care, and find 3 products. Perfect. Start only buying 1 to 3 of each product. And then send them in. Make sure you understand rank in each category, how fast things sell, and then maybe buy 4 to 6 as you find items, and then maybe buy 10 or more, right?
Yeah, the idea is that when you're starting, that you're going to diversify your investment across a bunch of different SKUs so that you're not taking any or too much risk, and you're kind of spreading that education across a lot more SKUs.
Yeah, you walk into the store and you're like, oh yes, barcode. Oh, there's 50 of these on the shelf and I'm gonna make $10 each, and you buy all 50 and every single Target has that same exact sale and everyone else bought 50 and they send it in and the price tanks. Now you're losing $3 on each unit. So that's why you want to diversify, so you can see those trends and watch what happens. In 4 weeks, you should have 60 products that you've bought, right? 15 each week, 5 stores, 3 products, 60 products you've now able to send in, see what happens, watch it, and learn basically from all those decisions. That learning is what's going to matter, because that's what's going to get you to buying more profitable products and understanding why they're profitable. After 3 months, you probably have found 10 to 20 products that you're like, I ran out of that. It still looks really good. I'm going to go back and I'm going to buy more. We call these replenishables. They're amazing, and they can fund, in some cases, 60 to 70 to 80% of your entire business. You just buy them again and again and again and again and again and again and again, right? It's amazing.
And this is sort of like your EV class. So for people that want to kind of evaluate the risk, this is like each individual one is a separate EV calculation.
Yep. So if you've got 10 or 20 of those, right, getting to 40 products of 10 of each, if half of that's now done for you after doing that for 3 months, and you continue to do this, you're just going to find more and more of those. So with consistent effort and study, I personally think if you put in the time and the effort and you did this, in 3 to 6 months, you could be making $1,000 a month in profit. Yes?
Early on, when you did the ranks, the beauty products were pretty high. Would you say the replenishables, the beauty products, might fall into that category?
Pretty much everything. So, I mean, beauty products like mascara or, I honestly don't know what I'm selling. So it's like I buy makeup and I'm like, I don't know what that's for, but it sells really well, right? I don't know how many hundreds of units of like bye-bye pores from IT Cosmetics, like Royce and I sold together, probably in the above 1,000 total, right? But it was like, I don't know what it's for, but it flies off the shelf. Makes great profit. You don't necessarily need to understand how to use the product or use it yourself to buy it. And if you think about things like makeup, makeup runs out. People have to constantly buy more, right? So those are like groceries. People eat them, they're gone, they want to buy more. People eat them, and you can sell groceries, right? I've sold, the Fire Hot Cheetos, right, in the little bags because people can't find them in their store, and they're willing to pay like $15 for a 7-ounce bag of them, and you're like, you're crazy, but I will keep selling them to you, right? So, Royce, do you think that's reasonable?
I do believe that's reasonable. And
Oh, sorry. I thought you still had the mic.
Well,
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't see you had a question.
Yeah, I was going to comment on this. For me, the goal is to buy 100 units a day. So to give you an idea, so it's totally doable. It's absolutely possible. I don't do this full time. I have a full-time job. Do this on the side, so it's possible.
Yeah, Brian doesn't have a real job, but Royce does.
That's right.
So, look, sourcing your products. What about buying from like Alibaba or from Chinese vendors and
Sure.
selling them there?
You can totally do that. It's definitely a lot more complicated in some cases. A lot of that is private label. So there are some cases where you're literally just buying it and you're selling it on a listing that already exists. But you're at the mercy of everyone having access to Alibaba. Alibaba is a Chinese website where you can basically go and buy anything and everything you want manufactured in China. Private label products, which I'll talk about in a second, and I'll probably skip it because I'm going to talk about it now, is basically, Anna has done this, right? This is her beautiful private label product. But in general, the strategy for private label is take a product that's doing well, find something so you can actually make it better, make some changes to it, brand it your own, create a new listing, and then have your own product where you can kick other people off your listing because it's your brand, right? You're going to need to do some trademark stuff potentially, but that's the better way to do it than just buying some random stuff from Alibaba. Although there are people that will just do test buys of 50 products on Alibaba. They will send them to Amazon. They will see which ones actually hit and do well, and then they will buy 1,000 of it, right? There are an unlimited number of strategies for you to be successful on Amazon, and there is an abundance of opportunity. There is more than, Royce and I could probably employ everyone in here and still not be done with the opportunity. It's just too big. There's too much you could possibly do. So, here's a little more encouragement. This is my oldest son, Aiden. He won a $100 bet from me. We were playing a basketball game. I gave him 4 years to win it. It took him 2 weeks. He got, in a lot of ways, he got lucky, but he won, and I gave him the $100. He was super excited. He spent $10, and I was closing. How many of you came to the worst things that could happen to you in real estate class? So the property that I talked about that wasn't doing so well, I was actually closing on that property the Friday of the week that he won the bet. And I said, and he'd been to the property, he'd been inside, he'd seen it. I take him out, and I said, do you want to invest your $100 in that property with me, and we can be partners on the property? And he was like, he's laying on the couch, he's looking at me, he's like, not really. And I'm like, I'm totally disappointed, right? I'm like, oh, come on, it'll be fun. And I explained to him how it would work and what his return would be. And he's like, I'm like, so do you want to do that? He's like, no, not really. I'm like, why? He's like, I just don't really like the property. Should have listened to his gut. Fair enough, well played, Aiden. So I was like, fine, you don't like that property? Pick any other property, right? And he basically was like, nope. And I'm like, you've been to other ones, how about that one? It's nice. He's like, no. And then he asked the question that I am most proud probably of him for asking, which he basically looked at me and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, can I just invest with you in Amazon? And I was like, absolutely. So he started scanning, he started asking questions, he learned rank, he learned to understand Keepa charts, and he makes all of his own buying decisions now. He's been doing this for a while. Even when I'm not with him, this is what happens. This is his mom sending me a picture look what you've done. Right? It's like, your kid just took all the fingerlings, which was last year's hot toy. This is last November, and he just went, and there's a bunch of people standing there, and he's just but he's nice. And we're always nice when we source, just for the record. He left 2 on the shelf in case the people that were looking wanted one. And if anyone ever comes up, if I've got a cart full of stuff and they're like, hey, can we have one? I will always give them one. I'm not being a jerk about it. So I asked him, what do you think they should know? Why do you do this? So he said it's fun and interesting, and he enjoys looking at all the new toys, like you might expect, right? And he says you can make a lot of money, but you could also lose if you just buy everything you see and just hope, right? Which is why we talked about rank and Keepa and understanding margin and ROI. Does he know the formula for margin? No, but he understands, and you're going to see in his next comment, which I was like, oh, man, you're really insightful. I said, well, how do you decide what to buy? And he said, I'd probably buy up to, he actually said 300,000 in toys. And I was like, when have you ever bought something over 200,000? He's like, yeah, it's probably 200,000, right? Rank up to 200,000 in toys, profit at least $5, except lower priced items like $2 to $5 where they make $3 profit. It's exactly what I talked about earlier. And then he says, or if it costs $50, you need to make more. So intuitively, he gets it, right? He's all over it. We go to Target, he just starts throwing stuff in the cart. I'll get there. So he turned that $90 into $1,215 in 1 year, mostly during the summer, right? And only going when I can go. He doesn't have a car, right? So he's like, can we go sourcing today? Can we go sourcing today? Can we go sourcing today? Guess what I do during the summer? I have a job. It's hauling him around to source, right? And he's competing with me in the aisle, right? Which is also funny because he likes to run ahead and he'll come back and be like, look what I found. And I'm like, dude, we're not in that aisle and you know I've already bought that. So we have like some rules where he can't like steal products, but he'll be like, oh, I found some of these, I know you're buying them, and he'll put them in the cart for me. So he did this, and that's 13.5x his money. I don't know anyone else his age that's basically doing that. He was 10 when he started. Literally no excuses. Started with $90. He's not paying for boxes, but he does pay taxes, and he does, RevSeller actually calculates his shipping, so he's actually paying for all that stuff, just not directly, right? He has to pay it when he buys it, and then we use RevSeller to track what his profit is. So it takes all the taxes that he has to pay separately out, but we take all the shipping and prep costs out for him. So he's fully paying for everything except for the $40 a month Amazon thing, which he would only have a fraction of anyway because his sales are a fraction of what the total is. So if he can do it, you can totally do it. This slide is an entirely another class all to itself, but I'm going to cover it really quick. Amazon's similar to buying houses. You're looking at a lot of deals, you're analyzing a lot of deals, sounds a lot like using the spreadsheet, and then you're buying the best ones, right? You're using those EV choices. Not everything makes money, to James's point. If you're trying to make 20% ROI, some of them are going to lose money. Don't freak out. You know, Hayden, when we like go through his results, he'll be like, oh man, that lost $5. And I'm like, and then we'll get down a little bit and one will make $20. He's like, oh, that's okay. That one just paid for like 4 of those ones that lost money. And I'm like, that's the right way to think about it. It's not, does everything make money? It's, does the average make you money? Have an abundance mentality. So I know James believes in this. I know Royce believes in this. I firmly believe in this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be teaching you this class, right? Like, am I worried that you're all going to go start Amazon businesses? Kind of if I see you all in Target. But, you know, like there's plenty of other stores. There's plenty of other places to source. So no, I'm not really worried. There's a bunch of, you're going to go online, you're going to look, if you're going to start a business, you're going to find all these people that can profess to like teach you stuff and they're gurus of Amazon. Be very careful. A lot of them are totally full of garbage. And they aren't even selling on Amazon anymore, or they're photoshopping their numbers. Royce can verify my numbers are not photoshopped. My CPA can also verify it. But be very careful, much like real estate. Don't find a guru, find someone and a group of people who are doing what you want to do and get involved, right? Facebook groups. There's a ton of Facebook groups out there that you can go join. Again, find the ones that are providing value or utilize them until you've got the information you need for the basic startup stuff, and then leave. You don't need to be in 50 Facebook groups because you're just going to distract yourself from running your business. A lot of groups are willing to sell you leads. So some of the lists that I get and some of the lists that Royce get, I don't know how many you've bought, but I have bought like most of the lists out there. Almost all of them are complete trash. And they're like, oh yeah, buy these products. And you're like, I would never buy these products. So be very careful. Learn by doing it yourself. Buy 1, buy 2, test it out. If it doesn't sell, you don't lose that much. Another question.
When you say lead,
hang on.
Can you explain what it is, lead?
Sure. So the Flipazoo that we talked about, you're not walking through the store, and in the morning I send you an Excel spreadsheet that says, here's a link to Target.com where that Flipazoo, you can buy it. Here's the Amazon page. You now get to go, oh, it costs $10. I can sell it for $25. I can make $10. That's a lead, right? So There are people that sell you 5 leads a day, 10 leads a day, you know, a list a week. There's a whole bunch of them, but I'm just telling you that the majority of them are not very good. And I've seen 90% of them, and they're just not worth it. So if you find a good list that actually is amazing, it's worth a lot of money. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to pay $150 a month for a list, it's very easy to make $150 back off one lead, right? That's good. And if you're getting a month worth of leads, you know, if it's a good list, I mean, I would be willing to pay. In fact, I just paid $1,300 for a Q4 list. So I will make more than $1,300 in profit from that list, or I'll be really upset.
So Brian?
Hang on.
So I'm not sure how this directly relates because I haven't done FBA, but there are tons of websites that show you closeout items from Walmart, Target that could sell for quite a bit of money. And those are leads too, but those are also free leads.
Yep. I mean, there's ample leads. There are also places that will ship you a pallet of shelf pulls, which are like they were on the shelf and they're no longer on the shelf. But a lot of that stuff comes damaged, right? They're literally taking it, tossing it into a giant box, and sending it to you. So if it's on closeout and there's, so I bought some closeout stuff. I bought 1,100 units of something, and I sold 300 of them, and I ended up reselling on a website the closeout for the rest of the 800 because it just didn't work out. So exercise caution, right? When you walk through Target, one of the things that Aiden and I notice a lot when we walk through is what toys are selling, especially right now. That one's always sold out. That's probably doing really well. When you see the clearance aisle and there's 50 of one item on clearance, guess what? Every Target has 50 of that item on clearance, and all the unexperienced Amazon sellers are buying all 50, sending it in, and then you've got this flood into the market. What happens to the price? Straight to the bottom. If you're willing to hold, it's probably coming back. The price will come back up, but be forewarned that a lot of that stuff is really risky. So, yes?
So what you mean by lead is just something that's selling really well? And
A lead is what I just told Rob. It's basically someone is sending you a lead. A lead is something that you could go buy and you need to evaluate, just like a lead in real estate. James says, hey, there's a house that you could go buy. That's a lead. Category gating and brand gating. So Nike, as an example. I can sell no Nike on Amazon for the most part, especially shoes. They are brand gated. So unless you have a really old account or you are basically buying from a distributor or a manufacturer, you can't get ungated. Grocery, the whole category used to be gated. Now it's not, which sucks because Royce and I spent a lot of time trying to get in and finally got in. But you'll notice that categories, brands, they're gated. So Paw Patrol might be gated for you where it's not gated for me. The longer your account runs and the more sales you do, and the more trust Amazon puts that you're a reasonable, good reseller, and you will slowly be able to get ungated and stuff. If you have the opportunity to buy an old account that's 3 years old, it may be worth buying an old account from someone else that already is ungated and all that stuff. It may speed your progress. Do you have something you want to add? Nope. So you can get auto approvals for some. Look online how to do that. It's very easy. I already said that. And then you've got wholesale, which we talked about, buying from manufacturer, buying large quantities, private label, which we talked about. And then something that's really crazy that will kind of blow your mind, which is Amazon Flips. You can actually buy a product directly from Amazon, Amazon as the seller, have it come to your house, and then send it back into Amazon, and you can sell it for more money. Happens a lot, all the time. So what happens is Amazon's going out of stock, or they're dropping their price for some unknown reason, or in some cases it might be a pricing error, who knows. But they drop something that was selling at $35, it's a shirt, and it drops to $8 for a day, and then it goes back to $35. You can buy it at $8, have it sent to you, send it back in, and sell it for $35. There's all sorts of ways to find those. Replenishables, we already talked about. I'm not going to cover that. Rabbit trails, if someone actually gives you a good lead, or you notice, hey, this one Flipazoo is great, and you found it on Target, you should go find all the other Flipazoos, right? Or maybe you should go look at other toys that are like Flipazoos, so that you can, hey, are these good too? If someone sells you a makeup lead for one shade of, I don't know, concealer, I don't even know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you get the medium shade of concealer, and you pull up the website, and you're like, oh, there's a light, a fair, a beige, or whatever. Go find all those on Amazon and see if they're doing really well too. That's a rabbit trail. You get one lead and you follow the rabbit trail to see if you can find other leads. That can be super profitable, especially if you're buying lists. Not everyone is doing that. They're just taking the one lead they got, buying it or not. If you take that lead and you go find 5 other ones, you're gonna make a lot more money. Lastly, I already talked about this, clearance. Remember, there's a reason it's on clearance in most cases. I will tell you, I buy clearance stuff, but I've been burned many times. So, 2 more slides. So we've covered a lot of this. Building your own business to me is exciting. I think it's fun. It's entrepreneurial spirit. I think that's why a lot of us are here. You can scale your business to fit whatever you want. You want to make $100 a month? Great. You want to make $10,000 a month? Great. Stay a 1 or 2 person small, nimble operation. There's a lot of value in that. You can move very, very quickly, right? Or go big. Hire virtual assistants, hire employees, buy a warehouse, do whatever you want. There are some people that are doing, 10 million plus in sales that just have big warehouses and lots of employees. That's one way to run your business. Got a question in the back. Make sure you have great processes if you go this route. 1 to 2 person company, no big deal. You know what you're doing. However, if you're hiring employees, you better have stuff written down really specifically. Don't wait. Write it down now. Yes?
So virtual assistant, is that someone that does sourcing for you?
They can do whatever you want. So you can hire, a lot of the virtual assistants or VAs are hired from the Philippines. Their hourly rate is anywhere from $2 to like $4 an hour, which in the Philippines is a lot of money. It's consistent work. Royce, you want to say anything else about VAs?
I think it's a great way to buy back a lot of your time. And like for me, it's the, at some point we'll have US employees. We keep plenty busy at the prep center, but it allows us to, gainfully employ people and let our business grow faster.
Yep. Yeah.
Can you give us examples of VAs?
Like what VAs are doing?
Can you give us examples of people that, what functions you hired people as VAs?
Sure. So they can literally do anything. You can hire them and train them to do your sourcing. You could hire them to run tactical arbitrage for you and filter through all that data that we talked about to find more good leads. You could have one person doing that, someone else then looking at the results that they find and sending you a list of these are the ones I think you should actually buy. You could have them do any number of kind of trivial, menial tasks that are repetitive, right? Go through and reconcile your inventory that got sent into Amazon from your prep center. Did everything get there? Are there any reimbursements that are needed? Are you filing the report with Amazon to get the reimbursement? All the stuff that you're like, oh, I need to do that still this month sucks, right? So you can outsource that pretty easily. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think anything that you do that's repetitive and can be have a system that's created, you can have an employee do it, and whether they're sitting in your office or whatever doing it, or whether they're sitting in front of their laptop, halfway around the world, they're fully capable of doing those type of jobs. So reconciling stuff, anything that you could imagine. If you can do it on your computer, you can hire somebody else to do it. I always am having to remind myself that I'm not that special, right? I'm completely replaceable in my own business, and that's how it should be, right? So you can find somebody else to do whatever task it is you're doing that way.
Yeah. So for me, I'm super competitive, as most of you know. Selling on Amazon is like a big game. Beth will tell you, man, you get so excited by stacking coupons and finding good deals. It's like a hunt. So go make bets on the products based on your data. Watch your performance get better. See if you can buy those products for as cheaply as possible. There is an unbelievable amount of opportunity in this space, like I've already covered. There's retail arbitrage, online, wholesale, private label, any mix of those. You could go build and sell tools to help other people, right? You could do coaching, right? You could run a Facebook group. You could find leads and sell them to other people. There's so much opportunity. I don't have enough time for it. So, question?
Sorry, back on the VAs. Is there like a specific site that you use for that?
Onlinejobs.ph.
Yep, that's who I've hired through. Upwork is really good.
Upwork.
Yeah, there's trade-offs to each of them. So like Upwork.
You don't have the mic.
Online Jobs has a site for every country.
Yeah. So summary, right? Unbelievable opportunity. It's a ton of fun. You can do it with your family. You can get your kids involved. Who doesn't want to go on shopping trips with Royce and I at 10 at night? It's pretty fun. James is still... That's fine. I'm taking all the products then. These have many similarities, right? This is why we're teaching this in a real estate investing class. It's because they're very similar. So anyone can do this. Hopefully I've shown you tonight you could get to $1,000 a month in profit with a little effort and a lot of effort and hard work, right? Don't give up. You can learn everything you need to essentially for free. Like you just learned a ton of it here. There's probably a million questions that you have, and I'm happy to answer as many as I can. But there's a lot of great communities out there of people that are willing to help with startup videos. How do I do a polybag? Don't ask me that question. Go look online, right? Google it. Get involved. Have an abundance mindset. This is the biggest thing I can tell you. There's so many people, I don't want to share that. I don't want to share it. I don't want to tell you how I did it. It's garbage, right? And give back. Once you learn, give back. Real estate is still awesome. I got to end with that, right? Or James is going to kick me out. But, you know, work hard at your side hustle, whether it's Amazon or something else. I could not care less whether you start an Amazon business. That is not my goal tonight. My goal is not to be like, don't do real estate, do Amazon. This is a way where you can make additional income. So many people are like, if I just had another $500 a month to make my car payment, you can have it. Do you want it, right? It's up to you. So use your earnings from your side hustle. Use it for down payments. Go buy a property with cash and then have consistent, more passive income. And that really starts to build. So don't underestimate the power of that. That is all I have.
I will add one more thing. So how many people in here are coming to the wholesaling class in whatever it is, next week or 2 weeks? Raise your hands really high. All right, I'm going to save you a lot of time. This is better than wholesaling. You should not come to that class. What other questions do you have?
And so just because Anna just did this, she used the Scotty peeler. You can see the residue. This is what Goo Gone is for. You spray a little Goo Gone on a towel, you wipe it on. 5 minutes later or 3 minutes later, you go like this and it just falls off like paper. So, all right, let's take some questions.
Can I quit my day job and do this?
I would ramp your business up before you quit your day job, just like real estate. Make sure that you are steady and secure for at least a year or two doing Amazon, and then quit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Bootstrapping in early on makes a difference, because if you're going to pull your full salary, for example, right, you've got to have money to put back into inventory and grow. And so I have some pretty strong rules where, you know, you're not pulling more than 30% of your profit out in salaries. So you can imagine whatever your salary is, you need to 3x that amount minimum.
Yep.
Yeah.
One other thing.
There's probably also something to be said about, you know, the two guys that are sort of actively doing this. Your significant other is still working.
Yep.
And you and your significant other are still working. So if that gives you any indication of do as I do, not as I say, specifically too.
And just one point on the app on your phone. So it totally scans, like this is the camera, right? I'm going to scan the barcode. It pulled it up that fast. I want to just show you that they also have unbelievable picture recognition. So if you can't pull it up using the barcode, you can actually just point it at the actual product and it will pull it up. It is mind-blowing. Oh my goodness. And actually, what's really funny is I happened to randomly grab this off my table. It's the only one I have. It was on clearance. It's actually a good deal. And I was like, oh, I'm going to show them a class. I can scan the barcode. And I scanned it this way, and it came up with a different product. And I looked at it, and that's actually the correct product this way. And I would have sent it in incorrectly. So teaching this class actually caught me from making a mistake tonight on sending a product in. Who else has questions? Here we go.
When you're going through the store and you've got the shopping cart jammed full of the same product or whatever, multiple products, I know you said you have eyes on you as you go up to the front, but do people ever stop you, other than that woman who said something, and ask you, like, what are you doing? Or
yeah, and you'll see other people that are doing it too. Yeah. You know, there are stores that are very friendly, like Walmart just does not care. They're very reseller friendly. Target, I try to be super subtle. And so sometimes they will tell you there's a limit of 3 on those, and you're just like, okay, and you put the rest back. You're not going to, you know, make a scene. I've had people put limits on stuff after I've walked out the door, but that company's defunct and shut down, Toys R Us. There's a reason. But you're going to get people, there's some really obnoxious, like I do self-checkout a lot. There's some really obnoxious self-checkout helping people. Like I've had employees at certain stores come up and actually like go through my cart, and I'm like, so, and I'm this close to, I'm like, so if those were tampons and condoms, would you be doing that? Nope, you wouldn't, then you shouldn't be doing it now. Like, it's just like, it's a weird thing, right? Like, oh, you got a bunch of toys in your car. I feel free to just mess through your. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. If you would like to ask me to leave, I'll happily leave. But there's just weird stuff. So be prepared for people standing in line and kids if you're buying toys. I mean, the kids are just like, and they run into stuff. I mean, it is unbelievable, right? And I will also say that if you're in Walmart at 2 in the morning, like Royce and I are at sometimes, like, and you're buying a cartload of stuff, the audience in Walmart is different at 2 in the morning. So you also have some eyes on you that way. Be very careful when you're going to your car. Beth and I were actually parked in a Walmart parking lot, and we couldn't fit everything in the car. So we were trying to like repack it to make it better. And so we pulled off on another parking spot, and there's another car, and they like got in their car and like parked and came over. And so we were like, nope, we're not repacking it here. And so we went somewhere else. So be cautious, right? And I can tell you from walking in and out of a casino with, $5,000 or $10,000 in my pocket when I was playing poker, I'm always very observant of who is following me out the door, right? So be aware, especially late at night. Yeah. Got to have the mic. Got to raise your hand. Got to wait your turn.
Is there
Ask the
a
question.
cost to keeping product at the Amazon warehouse over multiple months?
Yep. So there's long-term storage fees that are going to add up, and during Christmas, it's assessed every month, and they get expensive. Right? It's based on how many cubic feet you're taking up. So this is why you probably want to turn your products every 1 to 2 months as well, or don't send it all in and store some of it yourself. So, yeah.
I think I know, but can you explain the reasoning behind shopping late at night? Like at 10 or 2 in the morning?
Mostly it's because
or
Royce
whatever?
has a day job and he hasn't quit yet. Yeah. I mean, I do shop during the day. Like I'll drop the kids off at school in the morning and I'll go to Target or I'll go to one store and just see. And at Q4, it's a much higher volume of shopping in stores. But, Royce, it's like, I think last Black Friday, the day after, it was Thanksgiving night. So Royce is over at the house. You came over for Thanksgiving, I think. We came over, and then they went home, and we're like online doing Black Friday deals, right, starting at 10 p.m. And I'm like, this sucks. Do you want to just go shopping? And so we just got in the car, went shopping, filled one car up, came home, switched cars, filled the other one up. So it's really just a matter of.
I wasn't sure if that's when they restock it or.
That totally is part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there are. So Walmart will restock kind of later at night, and if you know what you're looking for, there were definitely times where we were trying to find a specific toy and we knew what box it was in, and we could walk by the pallet and go, that's it, and we'd open the box and take the toy. So Walmart has since tried to not allow people to pallet dive, and I'm like, why? People are buying your product. Yeah, and you will find online sites like this as well. You will get banned from online sites for buying too much stuff, which seems silly, like you're selling it. And the drop down will be 1 through 10. You'll hit 10, and they'll be like, nope, you can only buy 2. I'm like, it's your website. You could just make it only go to 2. It's a really easy change. So, who else has a, yeah?
Do we need UPC or barcodes?
Nope. So everything, and not unless you're doing your own product, but basically what you're covering this UPC up with is it'll be a label that's exactly this big that you'll print out, and it'll have your kind of, yeah, so you actually put it right on the box. Yeah, so she's manufacturing her own box, but in this case, you're just putting a label right across the top that has a FN SKU on it, which sounds like I'm saying a bad word, but I'm not. It's FN SKU.
One second.
Yeah,
Hey, just
Rob.
one quick announcement before that. So thank you again. Happy birthday, Anna, for bringing the treats and stuff like that. We will stick around for more questions, but if you guys want to keep using this room, pick up all your trash, please, and take it and throw it away. There's 2 trash cans over here. So we'll answer questions, but please do not leave trash. I took photos of where every one of you are. If I see trash at your spot, you will be un-RSVP'd from future
So you thought it was funny that I had you all wave at him. You got your faces. Yeah, Rob.
So Brian, since Amazon sells 1 billion products and Walmart and Target only carries 100,000, do you limit yourself to only those products, or do you scour the internet for everything?
I've bought from stores you've never heard of and that I've never heard of until I got a lead. So you can buy from anywhere you want. I mean, it's insane. There's a store, you're like, is this a legit store? You're a little worried to buy from them online, and then you buy from them, and you're like, oh, they're legit, and they'll keep sending it to me. So you go back.
So are you looking at
Wait, you're off mic now.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit more about how you kind of build the bridge between like the Amazon website and like your own tax and things like that?
My own tax?
Well, like how do you apply like the taxes and stuff that are on
So
there
when you
to
get your reseller certificate, you plug that number into Amazon, and you can basically, Amazon will charge the tax, you will get that sent to you, and then you need to submit it to the state and the city. So normally it's an annual thing, and then it becomes a quarterly thing, and then a monthly thing depending on the amount of tax you owe. But it's made very simple. And so there's a lot of tax regulation around the states and collecting sales tax and whether or not you need a sales tax license in all 50 states because your inventory is stored at Amazon warehouse. Talk to a CPA or talk to me after class off mic because it's a long, complex topic, and I don't have a good answer for you. It's very gray right now, and there's lawsuits that have gone both ways with the government right now, so it's even more confusing. So.
When you scan it with the seller app, like you scan that,
Yeah.
does it say if it's gated or not?
Yes.
So it says right in the app.
So it won't say it here, but if I pressed here and you were unable to sell it, it would either say down here, you are not allowed to sell this item in new, or if it's hazardous materials, it will have a little thing over here that says, hey, this is hazardous materials, you can't send this. Or in many cases, it will tell you if it needs to be polybagged, right? It'll tell you if there's extra prep. Coming back around.
Coming around.
So you still gamble? Still play?
So on the topic of gating again, so that was the major thing I ran into when I was trying to do this at Target. I was just going around the clearance and other areas and just scanning like everything I could, and it seemed like pretty much everything was gated. Is that just my account's too new?
Yep. So a lot of that is just your account being new, and this is why if you're super serious about it, try and find someone to buy an account from. Lots of people created accounts. Like, you know, if 20 of you go create accounts and only 3 of you actually follow through for a year, there's 17 other accounts out there that are now available that if you said, hey, I'll buy your account for you from $500, that's $500 I don't have. I'm never using it again. Why not, right? So I think there's a good opportunity to go buy a 2016 or 2015 creation account, verify that all the stuff that you want to see is ungated. But yeah, there's a ton of gating stuff that's happened. And it continues to re-happen, right? So I bought a product to flip from Amazon the other day, sent it in, it's there. I was totally ungated, and now it's gated, and I can't get ungated, right? And that's just going to happen. So some of that stuff sucks, and some of it, you know, goes your way. So.
How much would you say you buy?
One question.
How much would you say you buy from Amazon?
For flips?
Like in a year to flip?
So I only started buying Amazon flips really like in the past couple months, but it's very quickly becoming like top 5 supplier. So, well, I don't know. We probably are spending anywhere from $50K to an up per month in product. I mean, some months it's much higher than that. And I don't know what percentage of that is actually Amazon. Do you know what your percentage is?
Yeah, I think in like last three months, I've already spent like $8,000 on Amazon.
Yeah.
So can you have your own affiliate?
So Royce said $8,000 on Amazon. Go ahead.
Can you have your affiliate account then and buy with your links?
Yeah, so if you're buying from Amazon, do not use Prime. Use the slow, free shipping only. If you buy using Prime and resell on Amazon, they will shut you down, right?
And you should have a separate account from your
Yes.
Prime account, even on its own.
Yeah.
You should have a separate account from your Prime account on its
Or
own.
just use the,
How hard is it to sell your own product?
depends on how good your product is and how much marketing you put into it. And I mean, all the things that if you were going to sell a product in a store, it's all the same stuff, just online.
If it's amazing, it's super easy. If it's not amazing, it's really hard.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you use Amazon marketing?
So you can use pay-per-click stuff on Amazon. I've used that a couple of times to try and get some eyes on slow-moving product. But you can do Facebook ads or whatever you want to try and drive traffic to your listings as well. So.
Yeah, so every single item that goes into Amazon for me has an ad campaign running with it. And so they're running, you know, I'm doing something that's like a penny a click or something, so it's super, super low average cost per sale. But I don't know, like I think I've generated several $1,000s off of like $10 of ad spend, right? It's just.
You have an ad campaign running for every SKU?
So the ROI is horrible. on
Who's
that,
setting that up? Oh, God. That's a VA job, dude.
Totally is.
So what's the requirement on items to be new? You said that they can't even be dented packaging. So like if you're buying it, you just got to be very, very careful about.
Yep. So there's stuff like I'm like, oh, there's 5 of these, and we'll put them in the cart, and it'll be like, you know, that's the one thing I catch Aiden on the most is he gets super excited when he finds something, and he's just like, right? And I'm like, dude, this one's like dented on the back, and he's like, oh, and he'll go put it back, right? But think about it this way: if you were buying a gift for someone on Amazon, and the box showed up and wasn't new looking, right? I mean, there's a difference between, you know, a little corner being, you know, oh, this got, you know, slightly bent up like that. I think that's still new, right? And I think that's a reasonable expectation of most human beings. Like, yeah, it was in a package.
Reasonably
got shipped.
shipping damage.
But, you know, if this corner's dented in, it's not new, right? If the package is damaged, it's not new. So if you wouldn't give it to somebody that you know, as a gift on, you know, a holiday that maybe somebody you didn't know very well and were trying to impress, I wouldn't send it to Amazon.
And if it gets returned, Amazon's not refunding you all the fees they gave you before.
Yes.
And they're also charging you for the return shipping.
Royce says that they're not going to refund the fees if it gets returned to you, and they're not going to refund your shipping, and you're going to have to pay to have it shipped back to you. Although every item recall from Amazon only costs 50 magical cents to get from any Amazon warehouse to your door. That's how discounted their actual shipping is. Think about that for a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
How do you evaluate when to recall items if they haven't sold for a set amount of time? And are the stores pretty reasonable about taking those items back, or is it like 30 days and
most of them are, I mean, some of them have decent, you know, return policies, but honestly, it's such a pain in the ass to do returns that unless it's like I got it and it's the wrong product and before I send it in, I'm probably not returning it. I'm just dropping my price and liquidating it and taking the loss. It's much easier for me to take a $10 loss on 3 products than have to worry about recalling them, peeling the labels back off their products, trying to take them back to the store, finding the receipt, which my receipts are organized, but it's just a pain, right? It's like, okay, I'm gonna lose $30 on those 3. That's just part of the overall expected value of the whole system.
And in general, if you've built, like let's say you're buying from Walmart, you have a good relationship with, you know, Walmart or one of the managers there or something, and they're working with you, the last thing you want to be doing is being like, hey, sorry, here's all this crappy product that didn't sell for me. It's probably not selling for you either.
Yes.
Here, you can have it all back. That's how companies become anti-reseller. And so, like myself, I don't return anything that doesn't arrive to me damaged or broken. If it's in the warehouse and it isn't selling, I'm probably dumping the price super low. And then if it's like really getting close at like 6 months to hitting long-term storage fees, I'll recall it, donate it, and be out of it. But yeah.
Yeah, and that's just part of the business, right? It's like vacancy in a real estate investment. And I will tell you that making relationships in this business is just as important. So you can go talk to, last year I talked to a manager at Walmart. There was a bunch of stuff on clearance and it was the same item. It was clear they weren't selling them, but they were doing really well on Amazon. And I went and found the manager and I'm like, can you do any better? And she's like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, 20 bucks each. And she's like, yep, totally. Just tell them at the front. I told them it's 20 bucks each and they can call me and verify it. So I loaded up my 2 carts, pushed them to the front. And what was amazing was they didn't even charge me tax on them, which was odd, right? You can get no tax at Walmart because you have a reseller's permit, but it was great. And so making those relationships, I've got a relationship with another manager at Walmart who I try and tell her what I see as being the hot toys so that she can order them so her store does better. And then she'll tell me when they come in so that I can go buy them all. But she also knows I'm super reasonable in that I'm like, hey, you know, she's like, don't, you know, I'm like, I'm not going to take them all. So there was a product last year that was super hot. I think I sent Royce a picture of the end cap. It was just full of them and you couldn't find them anywhere. And this store had them all. And so I walked in, filled a cart. I told Royce, he went and filled a cart, but we left some, right? We don't buy them all. We're not like the total dick resellers that, you know, we could be. And there's nothing wrong with buying them all. Walmart wants to sell them, but, you know, it's like, I don't know, I have a heart. I don't want that, you know. I want at least one kid at Christmas to be happy. It's usually just mine. Any other questions? Perfect.
All right, thank you all for coming. Please grab your trash too and take it out.